Slowly but surely, the light of the world comes back as a reach boot from the charging state completes. And Meteora is back online, with no one else around but the sounds of conversation being held somewhere outside the logistics building. Also mute yourself up and you can be on the comm link.
He is also the main CEO of Perceptitech, the famous media corporation. It was my original plan to take this highly classified information to Fortune Fantasy and release it for all to see. Untapped, untouched, raw footage that I have of this individual. It is of the utmost importance that this intelligence gets to them. Where this intelligence is classified. It could be anywhere. However, I know the designated location. Now then, for more important matters at the present. It goes without saying that this information is to not be talked about lightly. Should anyone amongst our ranks happen to be a mole, and were to learn of this too early, it would jeopardize everything. There are some here with mixed allegiances, I know. Some here that aren't all what they seem. But if one thing's for certain, it's the drive we have to do better. Despite people not being what they seem, it matters not for the greater good. They will not crush us. They will not stop us out. They will not silence the truth. This was one of the last protocols Colton Myers gave me before he died. Before he gave me all this information, it was to be made very clear that should corpse infestors come back and try to infiltrate the human settlement of Soltaris, the whole world would fall into chaos and everything we have done up until this point would have been for nothing. We are to gain the civilians' favor. We cannot do it when they are all eaten and dead. Now you understand the severity of this. It is paramount at some point. If we can't get that ship up and running, it will have to find another way off this sandy rock. Countermeasures are in place. Should we need to enact scorched earth policy, engineers will be privy to things you will not need to know. But we don't want our enemy, the Federation or enforcers, getting their hands on that ship and what is inside it, for we have only unlocked the first level. All of you were privy to this during the first meeting, during the first briefing at Midnight Alpha. You all know that deep within the hull that is locked off to us for now are the mech supplies, the war mech supplies we need to give to Fortune Fantasy so that when we use their media outlet, they don't get crushed by the other corporations. As each corporation is technically its own government. And as long as they have a capable war mech, the parts to build one, the chances of a corporation wanting to deal with them and snuff them out entirely will lessen, and they are more secure. This is our mission. Do well to remember it, as it will not be repeated regularly. With that being said, officers, do you have anything else you would like to say or have for me?
Negative. No, sir.
Very well. Then the rest of you, rear guard, you will continue to patrol as usual. You will follow Sarge to the letter, and we will when we start to move out, which is in the next 10 minutes. No, 5 minutes. 4 of you will join the Sarge and join us on the vanguard into this village and surrounding areas. I expect all of you, including civilians, to join us on this expedition. You will be protected, but we have need of your expertise, especially dealing with things inside a village of older tech in nature. You, Jenkins, I know, will have knowledge on how things are in such an area. Now then, that is all for now. The sun is starting to get rather hot. So I will leave you all to the shade, and in 5 minutes you will group up on me, and we will push forth. First, to investigate the horn stalks. The Cerulean horn stalks off to the maze to our right. We will loop back around the entirety of the plateau and push toward the village. Once we have a lay of the land of our surrounding area first, then and only then will we move out. You are dismissed.
Alright, ladies and
Take care.
gentlemen, you heard the Colonel and you heard his orders. We'll be going for a walk shortly. I want the rest of
I want to prepare for
in camp in
something.
condition,
I'm gonna be talking to Jenkins.
so that when we return, shit doesn't hit the fan. Or
Good morning,
if it does
Lieutenant.
hit the fan, you'll be able to
Greetings.
respond accordingly. The 4 of you who have already designated, step out, get yourselves ready, get your guns out,
Jenkins, a quick
and be
word,
ready for
if
the
you don't mind.
advance.
Aye, of course.
You?
Actually, this can be done here.
Let's
Let's step away from them so that they can talk, please.
You. Step
Alright.
forward.
Good morning.
This man right
I hope
here,
you rested.
Good morning, Meteora.
listen to this man.
Good morning, operator.
I did work. Jenkins. So,
Aye.
you're one of the few people in this operation that I know of who are from the Wastes. Correct?
The only other Outlander I know of is Kerrigan. Don't know how long they've been there, but they're
She'd
the
be
only other one
interested
that I
as
know
well.
of.
I'll speak to
Hey,
you, her after you.
Step forward, come to my side.
Please, if you have
I
something to say.
assume, I assume you're asking about etiquette and the dealings and negotiations with villages, eh?
On the nose?
Well, there's 2 sets of etiquette I've always followed that have seemed to work. Only difference is if they're a wanderer clan or if they're more permanent where they are. If they got a well, they're permanent. If they got a well, chances are they've either got some leader that isn't an elder, that's more you could call them like a like a warlord or a chieftain, or some of them elect, but
Sure.
either
A
it's
variety of
yeah, she either got 2 sets. One where the family is there's a family in power, and it's the oldest of the family, or it's someone who's taken charge singularly. Either way, they're the person you want to speak to first. It's always good to keep the guns visible but not drawn.
Meteora,
Yes, Colonel.
just so you are aware, the Slayer protocol has been made public, aka the corpse infestor knowledge that you were given when you went AWOL alongside me. It has been made
Understood.
public to the individuals. Therefore, they all know what our true mission objective is for Fortune Fantasies and why we are doing it. Just so you
Understood.
are aware, as I know you took a while to boot up. We will be moving out and you will be assisting as well, along with Logi. We could use her drone to survey the land better and get a more in-depth topographical look of the surrounding areas around the plateau. Do you agree with this action?
This seems as expedient, yes.
Excellent. Then let us do so when we roll out.
Understood.
It is hot. My core is overheating.
That's very unfortunate.
Approaching with caution. Not setting them off, making them defensive right off the bat. Not implying
Absolutely.
that you have any means or intent to hurt them.
I have a curious
reason to defend themselves.
question. Yes, I have a curious question that I want both of your opinion on. I believe our current objective will be to get the infiltration squad into the town and then have potentially acquiring one of the civilians to get more information from them. Opinions?
You want my honest opinion?
Yes, that's why I'm asking you.
That's a surefire way to get a guard up your ass with a gun pointed at your face. Outlanders don't really like people nabbing their folks, especially if we grab someone who's kind of essential for them.
And there's no way
Agreed.
for us to tell.
Aye. Especially if they're all wearing rags for the summer heat. Gonna be a piss poor way of figuring out who's the drunk schmuck who slacks off versus the kind of integral captain or whoever it is who builds their houses. Not gonna take too kindly to us accidentally nabbing one of their essentials.
Opinions, Parker.
That's a quick way to make an enemy.
I think you're hearing it
Ideally,
from the best
if
people.
we don't have to shoot a single bullet and be able to potentially even coexist with these people, I think that would be ideal. But I'm sure you understand the risks.
Well, I can tell you three things that are universal among Outlanders is quick ways to their heart. Food, cleaner water, booze, and explosives. Those are like the four pillars of our societies.
I
we
believe the
could
last
offer
one
them
is more
any-
focused towards your particular culture, my
I
friend.
would say what he's on is something to probably pursue. Bring him something, an incentive, a sign of peace, I suppose.
Hey,
Speak their
you
language.
give the
Honestly, alcohol would probably go the
It's not like we have
farthest,
much to
depending on,
give at the moment that we need.
We got any booze?
Rebel insurgents.
Do we still have that booze from the?
Now.
We have
The
power, water, and
'Cause remember
rations
that?
at the
We had
moment.
plenty of whiskey.
These are all essential supplies to survival.
May I make a
Enjoying the
suggestion?
comlink.
Yes, please do.
Keep it simple. We're not gonna know really what their intent is until we make contact with them. I'm gonna tell you right now, and I'm sure you can attest, there are hostile Outlanders. That's a given. There are bad people. As with anything, as with any
Awaiting
faction.
Unit Hama to join the command link.
The best that we can do is alleviate ourselves of any sort of instigation, I guess is the best way to put it. So if we come with
Please line up
an
in front
intent
of me
of
when
peace,
you are ready to move out.
we show them that we got supplies, we ask them what they need first of all. We bring food, we bring any spare medical supplies we can have, or we have. Bring some booze with us. If they seem receptive, then we have something to account for that. But if they're not,
and
then unfortunately we do have to
best to
Naturally.
try other means.
also. This is something more personal experience. only listen to those that you can tell are in power. Like whoever leads their guards and whoever leads the village. Anyone else is just going to try and grab that shite for themselves and scond off with it.
Yes.
Any
I'm well aware
dealings,
of that.
make sure you. Yeah, any dealings, make sure you know who you're talking to.
Absolutely. We'll consider this with Colton. I appreciate both of your input. I believe we might attempt something slightly different than what he currently intends. Please, to the lineup.
Of course. Yes, sir. Ma'am.
Hey,
I believe it would be
Your opinions
wise
as
to
you
make
walk back?
friends, not enemies. We
I
are
agree with
currently in a
this.
precarious situation, given the crash.
I agree.
We are also unsure if we are still being followed.
Correct.
It is unwise to fight a battle on two fronts.
Apologies, Colton.
It is all right. It looks as if we are ready to move out now. You will be attending us, as we need to get the lay of the land, and more in-depth look into these horned stalks.
Yes, sir. Though I
From
would
a distance,
advise
of
us
course.
delaying visiting the village for a little bit. We might have had a discussion about the possible ways that we could interact with the village instead of what was currently planned.
Understood. When we have circled the plateau and gotten a good lay of the land around us, we will move out to the village. But only then,
Sir?
after we've had some more discussion.
Yes, sir.
Very well, officers. I will take lead on this forward push as we push past the maze and catacombs around the plateau. I would like the stealth units to be on our flanks in groups of 2. The forward units and heavier units and support units should take up the front, along with the assault team. I will also lead from the front, as I am best at being shot at first, and not taking any damage for it. Therefore, I expect my officers to delegate where people go in the group formation when I move to that point. And then keep the formation spread out, but close. Now then, let us not wait any longer. Civilians will be toward the middle, inside the formation, safe. Let us not wait any longer, as this heat is getting to everyone.
You heard him, let's move.
Private 6. You will be teamed up with Specialist Carrier. Watch what she does and learn from her.
Understood.
Specialist Carrier, you will be with me.
Be safe.
Understood. In that respect,
This is looking more like a formation.
Kerrigan,
Excellent.
please give an evaluation of your new squad member when you get back.
Will do.
Don't be careful. The way down
Let's move.
is slippery with them.
Good to see you booted up, Meteora. Seemed that you were on a bit of a delay today.
Software recalibration took longer than expected, perhaps due to the heat.
Ah, sure. We were also setting up the comm link for most of last night, so I wouldn't be surprised if that didn't help. Ah, this terrain. Good, good, good. Okay. Meteora,
Yes.
make a note of as many, or ideally all of our soldiers' current health. We're going to be going near those spores, and frankly, I'm not too enthusiastic about it. If
Understood.
anybody shows symptoms of anything, report it, please.
Understood.
Aren't these things toxic for those without helmets?
I would think the spores in close proximity would be. Should be fine, however.
Should be. Should.
Standing order, if you do not have a mask, keep as far away from those pillars as possible, and take the outer perimeters whenever we are close to them. Understood?
That's you, LT.
Alright.
I'll be alright.
I know.
I know she specializes in plant life.
Left flank from the ridgeline.
Keep away from the pillars and keep your formation tight.
Yes, sir.
Those without masks that are walking through here that are of organic nature will be able to take note that the air feels a little bit more stuffy here. Nothing in the way that it is
Scanning internal.
making one feel unsafe, but there's definitely a change in the air quality immediately around these spore stalks, as they called it.
Would be technically dead, but they're not. Interesting. For those
Jenkins is just gonna take his eye patch and move it over to his nose.
Understood.
The hole in his skull is gonna be revealed, but
Okay. There's now a gaping hole in your eye.
Wide berth, soldiers, wide berth. Parker, back up. Isn't that the spores?
No, Lieutenant. This one doesn't have spores.
What?
These are adult shrilm stalks, meaning they have surpassed their maturity when it comes to giving off their spores for their other stalks. They are nearly petrified, dead in fact, yet they still maintain a bioluminescent color. I noticed this at night as well. Odd.
Interesting.
I would also like to note that these specific shroom stalks, at least on the home planet of Shroom, do not give off a bioluminescence such as this. It is strange.
It is most likely a subspecies. Something that mutated or changed.
oh, this
Correct,
is
sir.
absolutely perfectly safe.
Alright, head to the swivel, keep your eyes up.
Yes, sir.
What we got in this area soon? Feel sand building up in your socket.
Excuse me, what?
I can move the unfetched off now. Open out of this area soon. I can feel sand building up in the eye socket.
Oh my, you appear to be injured. Do you require medical assistance?
It's not a fresh wound.
Understood.
It's fine.
You know, there's always cybernetics. My eyes are cybernetic.
Round in the corner, the wind can audibly be heard picking up as in the distance, signs of one of the many sandstorms are reported in the distance.
I do not like this terrain.
That would explain why there's sand building up in the eye socket.
Oh my.
We'll make sure it's looked at once we're back. That's not something you take lightly. Jenkins, I'm sure you're aware of that.
Aye. Last thing I need is sand cutting something and opening the wound.
Yeah, sir.
From this distance, all of you can see the confused looks that the others give each other as they approach this desert storm. A vortex of sand, dust, and rock. And yet, normally what everything has been assumed of, especially for those who live on the outskirts of society like Jenkins, know that normally a vortex like this would not be so stationary. It moves ever so slightly, but normally these things rip along the ground. This planet is certainly strange.
Carrigan, is it me or is that dust devil just staying there?
It's just staying there.
It's staying there.
It's not moving.
What in
An
the
issue of
bloody
scale.
fucking
Is
hell?
it further away than we think?
If it's that big and either it's big enough that we should be worried about everything in like a 50-mile radius and it's not moving.
Colton appears to be
Or
approaching the
it's-
vortex on his own. This seems
Yeah.
dangerous.
He's doing Colton.
Does he have any troops with him, or is he going alone?
He's going alone.
I was wondering why.
I think he knows what he's doing. It'll be fine. He told
I
us to
trust
stand
him
by
too.
and wait.
I mean, it's not like he's gonna move, frankly.
I go up there, but I don't feel like, being whisked away.
I like my feet on the ground. That's pretty nice.
You need
Yeah,
both.
there's no
Your
way
feet are
that
built
star
for
off
being
in
on the
distance is
ground.
bigger than we think. That's a stationary dust devil. Will be.
And as far as I recall, you do not have any cybernetics that enable the power of flight.
Not
He's really just going
yet.
right into it, isn't he?
Understood. I will note this for later.
From these things to my location. Oddly enough, you all would want to see this. It is
Please
quite
move.
Okay.
remarkable.
Let's move.
On the hill,
Let's move! Let's go! Let's go!
Oh my, he says it is remarkable.
move on.
I would like to see this.
You on it. I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to see how the hell is.
Considering the area around here looks like this, I doubt that thing stays stationary.
Move carefully up this hill. Don't let anybody slide down, causing more issues than we have already.
Watch your step.
Oh, this is terrible in heels.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay.
Why are we... Is there not any other way we could have gone?
Doesn't look like it.
Colton, seriously, making us fucking climb mountains in the fucking heat?
Yes, yes
that
he
is-
is. Please follow his commands.
Yeah, Meteora. Sure.
You're...
Easy for you to say.
No, no it is not.
He's allowed to complain, Meteora.
We have not broken formation.
As long as he does it.
I will note this for later.
Go
Oh my,
near the dangerous
there are
poison
two.
spores, he said. Go near
Yes.
the dust tornado, he said. Climb mountains, he fucking said. What? What's fucking next? Jump in?
He wants what's best.
I fear this is bad for my optics.
Maybe we teleport to another location. It's fast travel.
Otaker, is it bad that when you said that all I could imagine was taking a hang glide? Well, I'll
my.
be a malpracticing ripdoc.
This is quite remarkable. My expectations have been met.
Every single one of these vortices, just like the one that was spotted in the distance, they are mostly stationary, moving only ever so slightly around the point of origin, throwing up the stone and sand all around them. The dust, almost like a
Stationary
black cloud with
sandstorm.
how thick it is down at the bottom. You know that if anything were to go down there, they could very easily be ripped to shreds with the amount of force being thrown around, but how? The winds are heavy, but to this extent.
This is a great anomaly. This is where all the sand is dropped off, and why primarily we're in an area where much, and I mean much, of the sandstone is as opposed to the sand. It would seem a storm before we arrived ripped through the area we landed in only days prior. And then it
Oh,
arrived
lucky.
here at this divot. Very lucky for us. It doesn't seem to be moving in our direction. It seems stationary. Yet it proceeds past, way further off in the distance. Those of you with rangefinders can see that this storm spans through at least half its surrounding desert. We shouldn't stay here for long, lest a larger stone or boulder be thrown from this vortex. I will nominate this area as the red zone. You go here, you die. It is very clear that even if I, a synthetic, a war machine, were to go down there, I would get sanded down and be swept up despite how heavy I am. Therefore, we are not to enter there. If you happen to fall, you are lost.
Note to self, don't fall.
I'm really tempted to throw a stone in there, see how far it goes.
Permission granted, do it. Where are you?
Alright.
I hope it comes back and hits you in the face.
With my luck, it'll
Okay.
hit someone else. Oh wow, it was immediately picked up. It didn't even go down.
Yeah, and that just
Oh
went
my.
right in there. Some may say that was the longest throw ever done because it might never hit the ground.
Keeps going and going.
Picking back up.
Clearly, you need to be a grenadier if you can throw a literal infinite throw.
Overlooking the sandstorm basin, but continue to go about your day.
Yeah, I know.
Things you can guess.
Can I insight something real quick? Because
Sure. If you'd like, let's go up to DM on call so we're not bothering the NPCs.
howdy. Those vortexes, them being stationary is very much not a natural thing, it seems. I'm wondering if there perhaps would be a chance of something being the source of those vortexes, perhaps air pockets of some sort rising up from the ground, creating the vortexes.
I'll give you a roll real quick. Okay.
Or perhaps something else.
Right. Well, with a 17, here's what you'd be able to think about or ponder regarding this. The nature of storms like these, especially those with a vortex, tends to be some sort of circulating pocket of air that gets usually some sort of differential. Namely, typically these sort of things come from hot or cold or some sort of other force. Now, obviously, this entire desert is scorching hot to even where this differential would be very strange to have just on its own. So, with that assumption, it would be hard to tell given the fact that the sand clouds down there are almost blackening the ground. But something has to provide that differential of air pressure or force to cause this vortex to form.
I don't like this.
So perhaps it could be some sort of air pocket or something else. It is not easily to be told, but there's something that is perhaps hidden by the clouds at the bottom that is likely the source of this.
Land survey scouting.
Thank you. I hop back up now.
You're welcome.
I want you lot to remain safe. Your lives are my priority at this point in time. You're my man, not theirs.
Let us continue to move.
Means that they're
We'll need to get off of this plateau.
technologically savage if they're able to make dams.
Depending on how the dam is made. I mean, it's gotta be made out of stone for all we know.
Still, that requires at least some sorts of feats of engineering.
True. Very true.
Infiltration team, we're moving.
Yes, sir.
Get in position.
I believe over there is the top.
But this heat is getting to me, and I can see that it's getting to you. We will take the shorter option.
Alright, short way it is.
Oh, going short. Great.
You might want to check yourself. I think the sandstorms are trying to pull you.
I think we're good now.
Back into the valley. Back into the valley.
Yes, sir. Oh no.
Watch out for the drop.
Oh my, he is very good at disappearing.
Ooh.
You fucking kidding me? Yeah, someone else.
You will get a breath of fresh air and wind.
For
Yeah, I'm sure.
It should feel nice.
May I request a ride down, sir?
Necessary.
Oh, tumble down.
Negative.
Fantastic.
I plan to tumble down, as I am unable to slide. I would suggest you all go now.
Yes,
And
sir.
spread out when you hit the bottom, lest I tumble too far and crush all of you. You shouldn't have a problem, Meteora. You have a lighter chassis.
Don't look at my jacket, okay?
On your go, Captain, sir.
Go ahead and send the other units down. I will be down in a moment.
Yeah, we should move. Oh,
way,
people
everyone.
move.
Please
away.
move to the side, lest you be squashed. Like a tiny
There's gonna
bug.
be a bowling pin for Colton.
That would be very bad. You are not
Clear lane
bugs.
from him.
I hope.
Please do not get in front of my barrel. Really? Really?
Sorry, Lynn.
You are being spoken to. He is asking you to not stand in front of his line of fire. Please do not get shot. Your life is valuable. At least I think so.
Well, I'm glad you think
I
our
wonder if he's
lives
gonna
are
do a
valuable.
front flip.
Nah,
Speaking
probably a kickflip.
logistically, each of you surviving increases the overall chances of our combined survival. Please consider this in the future.
Statistically, she's right.
And according to some of the clans I met in the Outland, monetarily too.
All right. Well, that's a good thing to know, I guess.
Colton proceeds to start taking a step forward, and
Did he swan
then
dive?
starts to tumbleweed down. Not
Oh, no.
elegant at all. And yet he lands on his feet. It's honestly astounding.
Good job.
And a little terrifying.
Nailed it.
Honestly, I'm
I
glad
give
you
it a
didn't
10.
tumble this way.
I wasn't kidding about the front flip, by the way. No.
Dang it.
I think he tried to do a kickflip.
Oh my god.
He did a kickflip and it resulted in him tumbling.
Close enough.
Please continue.
Can we? That's okay. That's called a special training session.
Yes, sir.
Left wing, double time it, and faster than the right. Right, slow it down. Let the left get into position.
Yes, sir.
Keep in formation, let's move, come on.
Where's the infiltration team?
Yeah, he kind of had a couple hiccups.
Oh, multiple people. Understood. Correct.
Oh yeah, saw this yesterday.
Maji. This This is one of the
Yes.
areas that I designated on the topographical scan as being... Oh. As potentially having been a river before. This planet may have been lush with
Correct.
life.
Is also what Colton.
That boat would also indicate
From the
this.
outlands. Sleds on a boat.
While Colton does
He's about to
some
get around.
calculations,
Fucking weirdo.
a reminder, Six. You are still part of the
I'm on my way
infiltration
back in.
squad, and you had a
Did we say
standing
everything?
order. Does not mean that if your team members are meant to disappear, that you do not have standing orders.
It would seem there is writing here
Processing all
on the back of the
resistance
boat.
Colton once they disperse.
That was not.
Remember, keep your eyes on the ridges.
There's a metal plate right here. Seems to have words on it.
No, no, don't read it. It'll disappoint you.
There's words here.
Yeah, yeah, there is. Yep.
I don't remember this boat being in front of the plateau. We are still far away. What does it read, Parker Fields? Enlighten us all.
No, Sarah. Yeah, I mean, you can read, can't you?
Yes, but it would be provocative to say.
Why have I gotta say it?
It appears to say capture not
Because-
found.
Agreed. It would appear to say captured, not found. I will need a translator.
Lieutenant, thank God you're
Hi,
here.
I am
Please.
a translator.
Yeah, I can't even understand
Please
it.
read the metal plating.
Sure.
It is very crude inscriptions, also blown to bits by the sand over time, but what you can read is SS Little Bitch.
Oh, what's it say, Lieutenant?
Oh.
Oh!
There must be two of them. Two of the same.
This one
Interesting.
is SS Little Bitch as well, sir.
Oh my.
That's rude.
That is foul language.
You want to say that?
Oh my.
How many sons do we have here?
What a beautiful day.
So far, I count 3.
Don't you agree?
Wow.
It is a beautiful day. I quite like.
It would be
It's a
more beautiful if it wasn't so
beautiful day,
fucking hot.
Where such things
really
should
is.
not be said in my world. Ever.
Yes, sir.
Oh my. He did not seem to like that. I will refrain from saying such
No,
things in the
not at all.
future.
I will as well.
Logi. As an observation,
Yes.
following such rivers in the future may provide cover from storms. They provide natural valleys and canyons that wind will
Absolutely.
likely pass over.
Correct. These lower points will be invaluable for dealing with various threats that are.
Additionally, the soil is often softer and much easier to traverse. Granted, it is looser.
Oh, fair.
What's happening?
The plateau is just ahead, insurgents. We'll loop around that
Watch your step.
and head toward the village soon. Drink from your flasks.
Not liking this. Guns up.
Watch out.
Watch your step.
Watch the rear.
Yes, sir.
Already on it, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Continue to roll out.
It's been a while since I've had to do this much jogging.
I suppose now is a great time to catch up.
A casual stroll through the desert, I suppose, but in a different context, this could potentially be relaxing.
Is this what the officers meant when they said go take a hike?
No, Meteora. No, it is not.
I knew that.
I feel nothing but pain at the current moment.
Do you require medical attention?
Oh, I need a lot of medical attention. I've seen too much. I've heard too much. I need to talk to a professional.
Understood.
Moving forward.
Vote number 2.
The second.
Maybe they lost
take a
the
look
first
at it
one,
again.
tried to make a second one. I don't know.
Or is it readable?
It would seem these individuals here hundreds of years ago had a sense of humor, somewhat.
Upon closer inspection, you can tell this one is slightly different. This one was spelled with multiple
Yes, sir.
L's. Lil. That's how they tell them apart.
Lil caption not found.
Oh no.
Oh no.
If he ever swears, I'm gonna call it out. I'm gonna call him out on it.
Please do.
I will.
I swear who's gonna swear at me.
You not say that either, Meteor?
Please move.
Is that a normal thing with synthetics?
Negative.
Can Meteora do a swear?
Once. We should continue moving and talking, if you wish.
Once. Oh my god.
Yes.
Then you've got to make it count.
The core does not allow me to. Or at least it tries not to. Getting it to interpret other words is difficult sometimes. How annoying.
I mean, you. Oh, group up on Colton.
Form up, let's go!
Noise. We can get back to camp.
Therefore, we'll be heading there now. We will take a very long, wide approach close to the ship, so we are not spotted out in the open. Whereupon the
Sir,
sub teams.
The discussion
Yes.
of the alternate objective that we discussed earlier would have to be a discussion that happens now.
Then let us discuss. Officers with me.
Understood. Complying.
Colton, Christ almighty. Go here, go up here, go down there.
Sorry you don't get to sit down, sir.
You appear to be experiencing heat distress.
Let me hear your words.
Yeah.
Sir, we've talked to the other Outlanders, people who are familiar with these styles of people, and they both seem to agree that the worst thing that we could do is go into the camp, take someone who is potentially valuable from them, and then, in theory, return them.
I see. Then I will take this into consideration and adjust the plan accordingly. I believe that is in their best interest. And that is the first mission objective, to maintain in good standing with the civilian
I agree.
populace.
I would also suggest that we bring a small amount of water and food to potentially use as a bargaining chip or as an introductory sign of peace. It will cost us, frankly, a bit, but sir, one less fight that we have to
This
do. Maybe
might not be a bad idea. Very well then. I will allow this. A minor amount of our supplies. A day's worth for maybe 6 people. Not too much, as we don't have our own supply. It is limited. Therefore,
yes, sir.
inform Horse, as well as Eric Hart, to bring a crate filled with the already made rations and water that we have.
And if we happen to have any of that booze left over, that was also highly suggested.
Then let us do so.
I believe that's the basis of it. If we can talk...
Let us allow everyone else to group up. I will send the stealth teams in to gather intel, but that is it. They will return to the main body, and we will go as a unit to show the power and make sure they don't try anything foolish. That is, if they are there. Melvin.
Sounds good.
Let us go.
Colonel.
I believe this to be the best choice.
I'll let you handle telling the others to gather the food. I'll get everybody else ready.
Understood.
I believe those already. It is the ones closest to this village. We have yet to pick through.
Get your people together. Get ready to go out.
Jenkins.
Colton will,
We're taking your advice into play.
You probably know.
Do you know where the food supplies are?
I know the crate with the rations.
1 day of food and water, 6 people. Pick whatever you think would fit best.
Attend the Horse.
And if you see...
You can assist in bringing the crate.
You also have approval if you find any alcohol. Grab anything else that might be of lesser value that we might be able to hand over that you think would be valuable.
That you don't like.
Excuse me.
Come back and
Actually,
6.
could I get Kerrigan's help on this? Appreciate
Absolutely,
having another
please.
set of Outlander eyes.
Unless you were...
That begins now. You are to attend me directly. I'm overriding the order. You're not going to be going off anywhere out of my sight.
Wait for...
Not yet.
Not yet. Meet up back with them once you've gotten this assignment, please. They'll be up there.
Head out, you two. Double time.
Apologies,
We
will
need
you-
those supplies now. We need to move out before we lose more light.
They wanted me,
Go.
one of my assistants with gathering supplies, but I'm with you as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
Let us go.
Understood.
Another distance a ways.
Where's Specialist Gamer?
Behind you.
Oh. I see why you're on the infiltration team.
It seems that you've lost your little puppy again. You might want to go get them.
Negative. Private 6 is being taken aside by Colonel.
Understood?
Sand's so bright, it's hard to keep proper line of sight.
Mm-hmm. Get used to it. You'll have to find some sort of visors or something. That might potentially help.
The double-edged sword of this right now is a lot more difficult for us to spot other people for the sake of its lightness, and it's very possible to create mirages and optical illusions. However, when it comes to the evening,
Food crate team.
What do you think,
have
Meteora?
3 minutes to link back up. Double time, triple it. Let's go.
Please repeat.
What do you think, in terms of our plan?
light will travel more at night during the
I believe there is still a number of variables that have not yet been accounted for. However, this plan does seem to be operable, at the very least.
If you believe that there are variables that have not been discussed, then please bring them forward.
As we understand, these Outlanders have primitive, old world tech.
Correct.
This implies that many of the supplies that we have may become valuable to them. As Colton said,
Correct.
we should approach with force, but gently.
I believe that was the best way to be put it, is we're not planning on going there to kick the door down, but they should have no reason to
I
think
wouldn't
that we
underestimate them, no.
Negative.
They probably
Exactly.
saw our ship crash. They probably know that we're weak and desperate.
That is why we
Might take
cannot
advantage
appear
of that.
weak or desperate.
We got the supplies, we're coming
And
back
we
now.
aren't. We have most likely much better tech than they do. And if we use our equipment...
Tech doesn't mean nothing if we can't eat or drink.
Valid.
This is where information will be valuable. Trading information with them
And
is important.
exactly. I would
They
also like
have
to
managed
point
to
out, if
survive
they've been
here
living out here.
for potentially decades. We do not know. However, this means
Meteora
that they
sound
likely
out.
have an understanding of how to gather supplies and survive here in this wasteland.
Correct. That's the most valuable thing that we can get. If we can give over a little bit of food and supplies in order to have a almost permanent supply of food and water,
Things that
That's
may
worth it.
also be valuable to them are things that we would consider normal, luxuries.
correct?
True.
One,
Sure, they'd
that's
like
why
to
we're
get their
bringing
hands on
this.
some scrap
As far as
well.
food is concerned, environments such as this generally have a limited variety of sources of food.
Hey!
As opposed to sealed from last time that they were seen.
Come on, we should be with the front.
Roger.
Vosh,
Yes.
I will avoid speaking to them. I do not wish to frighten them.
I'll put it this way, Meteora. If they have synthetics with them, I believe it may be valuable for you to speak. But if it is only organics, then I would like you to refrain from talking for the time being, as your particular disposition may concern them, to say the least.
Affirmative. That's exactly what I was thinking. I do not know why that was interpreted so happy.
Maybe because it was interpreted the exact opposite, so it had to compensate.
Perhaps. I believe I was attempting to apply a neutral tone, but it didn't work.
Apply the most angry tone that you can.
That's easy! Wow.
Wow. I suppose that's aggressive. Similar, but...
Perhaps more forceful. Regardless of the topic, I will avoid speaking to them unless you command me to do otherwise. You are my operator, and I will follow your lead.
That seems reasonable. And of course, if you notice something that I should see, break that order, but...
Of course.
Short of one...
I will comply.
If, of course, emergencies are emergencies, but... For the sake of
If I
casual
believe that
talking,
you,
please.
my operator, are in danger, I will speak.
Absolutely.
My knowledge. We got them and collected onto a sled. What concerns me are those crates open over there. All of them are open. Let's continue. A slow approach.
Alright, I'm the anchor.
This ain't gonna be much of a bargaining
Watch
chip
your
if they
step,
already have their own.
please.
I'll tell you what they won't have. They won't have the alcohol.
Yeah.
He's worried about the ones over there. The ones over
So
there were
didn't
over
we-
there.
Didn't we take the one that had food in it?
Yeah, we did, but he's worried about the one that was sealed, bolted shut.
And they're open,
Help out with food.
as far as he can see, apparently.
Those were all bolted in.
It's an implication of their tech. Interesting.
Jenkins,
Aye.
if any of these guys haven't had a taste of that stuff before, let them at least sample it first and see if they like it.
Nope, rock.
And then might... Oh, yep.
Vosh.
Explain the deal a little bit more.
Yes.
As far as we are aware, there is a high likelihood that they know that we are here, and thus they may be expecting our arrival. They may be watching. As we approach, I might
Correct.
suggest the use of pingware to attempt to locate the number of individuals within this village, as well as any other
Interesting.
individuals who might be stationed nearby.
This is something that I think is a fantastic idea, but it requires a quick discussion.
Affirmative.
When did they find
Probably.
I saw no movements during the night.
Lieutenant. I know this, Horace. There was a hill blocking our vision.
In terms of the distance that it's able to ping.
It is
we're good.
local, and the range won't be any more than I would say 200 meters max.
Sir, Meteora had a good idea of potentially utilizing the pingware now and when we get closer to the village to one, see if anybody's watching us, and two, to know exactly how many people are in the village.
Might not be a bad plan. My concerns are... Never mind. Continue with this action.
Understood. Good. Let's make sure there's no eyes on us. Go ahead, Meteor.
Understood.
Keep your eyes to the right.
Eyes up, heads on a
Set this thing
swivel.
down while they do their thing.
Ping going out.
Meteora, you activate your pingware systems and send out signal across the landscape. Everyone around you lights up to you as their technology is in your system at all times, but as your range expands, there is nothing. No response at all, except for a distant response from the ship behind you. But otherwise, the way ahead of you is barren to you. At least of any technological signature.
I'm not detecting any signals in the direction we are headed. In fact, I am detecting no foreign signatures.
Then again, I had some concerns.
They are using
Remember, we are
old tech.
dealing with individuals in rags with old tech. Precisely. Which won't be pinged.
Understood. I will keep this in mind for the
Same as
future.
before.
That would have been good to know.
Indeed. At least, if it's really old, that is. We
Yes,
don't
sir.
know what type of old tech they're using, but it's 30 years old, 20 years old. Mission stays the same. We will gather a perimeter, investigate the supplies that are clearly missing, and I will send out this dog squad.
But this is still a good note. If they are using any of the tech that they managed to scavenge, assuming that was them that was able to scavenge it, it would have been pinged. And that means
If it is
the
activated.
people who
Otherwise, it may be invisible to me.
fair. They may have no way to activate it, frankly.
Potentially. If the technology in question has a battery, it may still have a bit of a charge. However, that charge may not last long. That would be very unfortunate for them.
Absolutely.
This could be another bargaining chip. If they wish to keep that tech, they'll need something to power it.
And remember how I was talking about before? If we get that reactor up, well, energy won't be a problem.
Affirmative.
We have energy. They don't. Excuse me. Go ahead.
In reference to the power.
Ordnance.
I know, it's not.
That's gone.
Yes,
They did not need to
yet.
know
We're
that.
talking about future plans. Exactly. One, go.
Please continue.
Are you over
Why?
Alright, he's not cresting the hill. We'll be fine. Stop squad. Tell me.
You're familiar with this territory, yes?
Not this. I'm from the Outlands, but.
How likely is it that they'll be able to have the same kind of high place?
I'm cautious about using my drone. As stealthy, quote unquote, it is. We're in essentially a silent, open, barren wasteland. I wouldn't be surprised if they're able to hear it and fairly see it pretty easily.
Agreed.
Short of, well, there are no birds. So that's not helpful.
But I would not expect a single one to be on top of a hoodoo or one of those like.
I don't know what I'm smelling, but something, I don't know. Something's in the air? And I'm hoping it's not something burning.
I feel that there must be at least one lookout somewhere here. There's no way we've not encountered them, which means we have been.
Don't worry about that.
Oh, absolutely. We're probably. I expect there's at least two.
My cybernetics get a little bit stiff after a while.
Considering we are in a desert and there is sand, I would be more worried that there is sand getting into the joints. You should be careful of this and maintain
They're almost
your
guaranteed
equipment.
is. Trust me, I do. My cybernetics are something that I keep very dear. They get cleaned every...
Speaking of which, I believe it would be wise to instill strict maintenance standards for the equipment that we have, specifically the weapons, and the technological
Fair.
equipment back at our forward operating base.
We, for the most part, already have fairly strict cleaning standards, as, you know, we are a military group. But
Yes.
it should be enforced more strictly, I agree.
At least here, while our supplies are incredibly limited, we cannot replace the supplies that are lost due to negligence.
Correct.
I expect that we've been watched.
Lieutenants,
Yes.
Yes, Sarge?
I'm going to bring up the concern that I just raised with one of the civilians. One of them, they're more familiar with the terrain. It is highly likely that we have already been seen and are being watched at this point in time. I would not be surprised if they had a set of sentries set up in a high vantage point. The desert has precious little...
Thank you. I do not wish
The
to be
desert
shot.
has precious little cover, which means they have wonderful sight lines.
We're well aware at this point. It's why I'm suggesting we take the more direct route than attempting to do the original plan. I believe that if we had already been spotted, we send a stealth team in and we capture a person, they're going to know exactly who did it, where to go, and they know who to blame. If we go in through the front with a peace offering, we can potentially avoid that entirely and gain a valuable asset.
It seems you agree.
I'm glad to have such a capable logistics team.
Thank you, sir. I'm doing what
It's helpful having
a
civilians
previous
such
occupation
as
wouldn't do.
Jenkins on our team. I was just complimenting you. Your advice has come into handy.
You're doing great.
Oh, thank you.
Well done.
Thanks.
Now let us wait.
Honestly, I'm more surprised there was ever find any alcohol.
Yes, well, we have that entire... I know, but, you know, in theory, if we manage to get more supplies and we plan on being here for a while, we can always try to make more. In theory.
It is good to find that though. This shit's like liquid gold out here. At least in the
No
Alpha.
signs of movement detected.
That's why I thought it was a
I don't know, that's why I
perfect
thought, like, I was like,
Testing.
oh shit, is my shit
Second
getting too hot? I don't know. Being in a desert,
The
I
candies
have
we
my
also
fan
found in
and
the
shit on, and we
rations,
have the AC on here in the house. But I legit feel hot right now.
I
I'm getting
knew-
too immersed. Help.
This is why I picked you. This is why I picked him. He knew exactly what to get. Thank you.
We
I was
found
going to suggest
one with
chocolate.
Good
if we had
job!
some, but-
small chocolates. There's these. In my rations, I found these little like pebble candies, hard, tasted like lemons. Those are probably good too.
Oh, fantastic. Any sort of delicacy like that that frankly wouldn't be able to be made out here, which is...
Exactly. We also tried to go for more of the meat-based ones because that's probably more the palates
Yeah.
are and good meat.
Yes.
This is why we
This would
chose-
make sense.
This is why we chose it.
Their nutritional intake is also likely quite low. Our rations are meant to provide maximum calorie intake. It would be wise to advise them to eat small amounts so it does not overload them and make them sick. They may end up vomiting, and this would waste precious supplies for them.
Hey. That and good luck trying to
Jenkins.
convince an outlander to eat anything bitter. That's practically the
That's
only
fair.
way you know something's poisonous, so tried to avoid the vegetables as much as I could and went more for the like meat pies and things like that.
If you are comfortable with it, I would suggest that you come with us in the initial contact. To be a more understandable frame of reference.
I expected as much anyway.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I believe it'll most likely be Colton, myself, Meteora, whoever's carrying the crates, you, and then our troops behind us.
Understood. Are you certain you wish for me to approach?
That.
That's valid. Opinions?
Outlander points of view. No offense to anything I'm about to say, but they might look at you as less a person and more a bunch of parts waiting to be used.
I got it. There you go.
Thanks. So,
I do not wish to be torn apart. I would like to avoid this, if at all possible.
I agree. I would recommend that not keep a close eye on them, because your ability to collect footage, well, I suppose everybody's ability to collect footage is valuable in terms of later processing to see if we can't find any distinct advantages from our conversations.
Observation and analysis will be my primary priority.
Fantastic, then. You will stay back. Parker will most likely come up with me then.
This will only be superseded by your safety.
Correct. I think this is a wonderful plan. Well, there is a large caveat to that. This whole thing, that if we start walking up towards them and they start shooting at us, well, that's going to be unfortunate, but...
Oh, that's why we walk out with the bottle fully in view.
Oh!
If they can see the bottle, they know we have something that is either water, alcohol, or gas. I don't even... Out here, I don't know if they'd know what gas is, but...
Oh my.
I would say that the most likely relatively near, because I believe the observations that we made earlier is that those crates were gotten into and they were bolted shut.
Oh, of course. Give an Outlander any kind of hacksaw and they'll rip through anything you think they could or couldn't, within a day.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Ingenuity.
But we'll walk with a bottle in plain view, so they know we've got something of value. And since it's a bottle, it's too delicate, they wouldn't risk shooting it, especially if there's a possibility of it being alcohol.
Fair.
What people will do for such simple pleasures, I will never understand.
Yes, sir. It's because it's a simple pleasure, sir.
This stuff is as valuable as gold in the Outlands. Simple pleasures are hard to come by.
Understood. I will keep this catalog.
Villages in sight. No heat signatures detected. Moving in to investigate.
No heat signatures. I'd like to bring up the possibility that these are synthetics.
Also a good possibility.
Would they have heat signatures, sir? I believe they would.
Synthetics would have heat signatures. It would be less and more focused around the core.
Well, also it could be that the clothes they're wearing are, well, no, they'd show up as cold spots then if it was that kind of clothing for the Outlands. Something to keep themselves cool.
Then again, some people just brave the wild. That's typical of them.
That too.
I mean, case in
If there
point.
are no heat signatures at all, that would be interesting. Perhaps
I would be.
there is no one there.
That is concerning if they've already moved, sir. That means there is most likely another settlement relatively nearby that they retreated to. And if we allow fear to be stoked, sir, this will not be it.
Someone misfired. I do not think that.
Yes, a misfire, sir.
Make sure to put your safety on, aka lock your gestures. Trigger happy fucks. I mean, caption.
Oh, he swore! He swore!
I don't know, I only heard caption block.
Yes, all I heard was caption redacted too. I wanted to hear Colton do a swear. What? It's the small things.
How does one do a swear?
Well, you can do a swear in a lot of different ways. It's not just swearing. You can do a swear
Do you
by
not
incorporating
say
it
swear
into...
words? This does not
Yes,
make
you
sense
do-
to me.
You say swear words, but it's a little bit different. You see, doing a swear is understanding the context in which you are swearing, such that it is poignant and interesting. It's not just going around and saying shit, because that's not interesting.
It's like
But
when I saw that freaky fucking sandstorm.
Maximizing the impact of the words that you are saying, so that way they communicate
Exactly.
the maximum amount of displeasure, perhaps.
Well, or pleasure, depending on the context. But, yes.
It's like
Understood.
I'll
I will
be a
keep this in mind
malpracticing
for the
ripper
future.
dog. When I saw that fucking weird ass shit over in the sandstorm.
That was not optimal.
Weird. Okay, there's a special qualifier here for anything using the word ass. You see that there is a long linguistic history of the word ass in the context of other words. Specifically, common is a very strange language. There is just normal common, but there is anything appended with ass in common. Sometimes it can be an exaggeration. Like if you say long ass, it generally means that it's very long. If you say dumb, well, there's also dumbass, which means that you're very, very stupid. But a smart ass, well, if you start with smart and you add ass, it becomes a negative instead of a positive.
I mean, if you look up smart ass in the dictionary, you get this one's face.
How dare you?
No signs of life detected. Returning.
Understood. Group backup with
I will assume this was a joke. Ha ha ha.
Just because I am multilingual doesn't
Yes.
mean I'm a smart ass.
I didn't even know you were multilingual. Just knew you were a smart ass.
Hmm? Sure. Well, it tends to help to know many different languages when you're talking with, well, a variety of people. So, I know a lot.
Lieutenant, can I borrow you?
There are
Absolutely.
two of us.
Please.
I will stay here.
Might as well do some field maintenance while we're here.
Double time, Stealth Squad. Let's not tarry out here any longer. It is hot, and many of us are fatigued.
Jenkins, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
You were previously an Outlander, but now you are not.
Aye.
Why is this?
That would have been... I was an Outlander till I was about 16, 18. Got a job in the Manua district, in a construction yard. Just was tired of fucking scrounging about and scrap and worrying about whether every building was gonna collapse over my head or if some fuckwit bandit was gonna shoot me over something he'd think I did have, even if I didn't have it.
A question then.
Losing the eye was a good enough reason.
Perhaps this is a mentality that others might share?
Oh, I have no doubt that there's bandits out here that'll kill you over whatever fucking shoes you have on. Why
I
is
was
this doing this
referring
on
to
the
your
hope that These
own.
aren't bandits. Hmm?
Being tired.
Hold on. No, what? If any of these Outlanders are older than 30, they're tired.
An update for all you
Outlanders
servants.
don't normally live past 20.
Group up.
Sounds like that's a cool person.
Affirmative.
In fact, I've lived
Sarge. We are being
In
called.
fact, I lived to 52. The fact I lived at 52 is an anomaly among all banders. I wouldn't expect the leader of this village to be any older than early 20s.
All supplies have been stripped. That does not mean we should not investigate further on why they left to begin with. There are tire tracks leading out in a certain direction. However, mission still stays the same. We investigate what we find there, and then go back to the fall. We can fall is another day, if necessary. We're moving out. Let's not waste any
Bring the-
time. Double time.
Bring the supplies just in case.
Vosh.
Get the
Something
crate.
has occurred
Let's
to me.
move.
We do not want to leave them out here.
Yes.
Get inside the village. Maintain a perimeter. Get inside.
The vessel we
Come on,
arrived
someone
in
else.
was previously associated with
There you go.
corporations and the Federation.
Say that with the real information again.
1 second.
Do you believe that they may fear
Yes, sir.
corporations or the Federation?
If they even know about it, they absolutely do, because anybody who's sane fears the corporations. I fear the corporations, but it doesn't mean that we're not going to stop fighting them.
Perhaps they are worried that we would retaliate, attack.
Absolutely. If they think that we're corp, do you not think that we would do the same thing? If another ship lands in here that is designated as a corp ship, do you think that we might be really fucking careful as well?
Affirmative. But that is because we are considered rebellion. We are a danger to their bottom line.
Yes, and anybody who lives out here is known to be absolutely worthless to the corporations. And
Exactly. Which is why I believe it may be a concern on their part that we are a corporation.
we're going to have to do everything that we can to prove that we're not on first impact. If we allow them to like I was saying before, if we allow this fear to be stoked, then, frankly, any sort of contact will be futile. Ideally, we would want to get in contact with them today in order to get this cleared up, but as it currently stands, it might not be the
Considering we
case.
are forced to travel on foot, while they seem to have
get up
land
there?
vehicles, I find the likelihood that we can do such a thing as being incredibly unlikely.
Yes. What are you doing?
Looking upon these.
There's metals.
To see what if Phoenix would figure out what kept.
Meteor, come around with me. Make observations with me.
Well,
For instance,
not
how many
20.
trucks they have.
Gosh.
And this being relevant to your profession,
He said don't go in.
you would be able to tell that these tracks were definitely made by tires. The way that they're spaced apart and
We should be
the
careful.
patterns upon them would indicate
We do not know if this area is trapped.
four-wheeled vehicle, probably.
Both
given the
ULTs.
general spread. And with your knowledge of vehicles, would
You walked
probably
in front of
assume
my
that
line.
Yes,
you
I am
walked in
aware.
front of my line. Inform me when you're doing it so I can.
I apologize.
sand, probably something
I'm used to being far back, not in the front. I apologize.
form of Jeep. Although what kind you are not entirely sure as
The
you're
woman in the
seeing
chair.
signs of the vehicles being used.
Regardless,
Correct.
as I said, it would be wise to be cautious, as there may be traps laid. If they fear us and are running from us, they may have left something nasty for us to find. That would be very bad.
What are the chances that within what
Wheeled with tires.
half a day they were able to pack up all their supplies, leave traps, and leave quick enough that they're already gone, and there isn't a very clear indication that they were just here.
Given the size of this village, this would imply potentially one of two things. One, they are an incredibly small force that is able to mobilize quickly. Or two, they are a large force that has capability, such as vehicles, to move large numbers of people quickly. I believe the second of the two is more likely, as they also were able to gather supplies from our lost cargo.
Well, as far as
considering
everything goes,
If they were big, they would.
identify this.
I don't think they'd leave this behind.
Gasoline.
It could have taken days to build.
I think this is
As Jenkins
reasonable
said,
to assume that
there
this
is
is
a
some
well.
definition of an outpost, not a permanent listening space.
Everybody.
Is it full of water? Have we checked?
Don't think we have.
Right now, most likely.
I believe I saw 6.
Yes.
You're fine. Bullets will ping off.
Was there water in the well?
Negative. If you will come with me, observe.
Colton, I already figured out what it was. They had gasoline in these. And the fact that I can still smell it means they left not too long ago.
Parker, and all those who are climbing to look, you can see this well looks like it probably would have been deep, but it is almost filled to the brim with sand. Whatever would have been in there before is certainly buried by now. A rope that likely had some form of bucket or hoist attached to it, completely buried to the point that even a cursory tug from Colton really just causes the rope to snap, not even the displacement of
Unfortunate.
Oh no.
If we're going by the observations that
It's dried. This is unfortunate for us. But there must be another
Sir.
source somewhere.
if I may make a different conclusion,
Enlighten me.
one of the things that Jenkins pointed out earlier is that stationary tribes would be ones that stay near a well. I see no indication that this has ever been an active well anytime recently. Sir, I believe this is an outpost.
Colonel. I see. Meaning the main body of these
I see movement.
outlaws is somewhere else.
Who is up there?
Yes, I believe that is the stealth team.
Understood.
I take position in the towers. Perimeter. There's no news breached our perimeter yet.
If I may,
Unfortunate. Yes.
Please.
There's recent tracks in the sand that haven't blown away yet. I can still smell the gasoline from the canister, which shouldn't be possible unless they've left within the last 30 minutes to an hour. Otherwise, those vapors would be gone, and an empty well tells me this was a full bug out.
That is unfortunate. We saw indications as well as a recent storm blew through here. It is quite possible this storm simply blew into the well, covered it up, including the bottom cracks and crevices where the water is stored, to an extent that drove them out.
Colonel.
Now it all makes sense. They abandoned this place. It was of no use to them.
I'm concerned about the FOB. Now that we know that they have vehicles, we need to warn them in case something happens while we were gone.
You're correct. I do not plan here to stay long.
I can take my men back there and warn them in.
I do not want to overextend into an area we are not familiar with. I get the feeling if we
Sir?
stay here for too long, someone will notice.
If you want to take the risk, I can send the drone up, give us a little bit more topology of this exact area. But I will admit, there are no birds in the sky. There is nothing hiding it.
we should keep our systems and our trump cards close. And not
I agree,
play
sir.
them yet. Then we will wait. For now, we will make preparations to pull back to the fob. I see no reason to stay here any longer. This place is abandoned.
Yes, sir.
At the very least, perhaps another topographical scan of this area would be in order?
Perhaps, and connected to the one we already have.
You guys go home.
A good suggestion.
Without my days on the same.
On your
Just
order.
don't go higher than those rocks.
Affirmative.
Not as high as the buildings, sure. But any higher
Yes,
than
sir.
that will risk being spotted if anyone is watching.
Affirmative.
Yes, sir. We'll complete that immediately as we leave.
I will be able to get a better scan from a higher position. However, I will not elevate beyond the rocks. I will climb
Okay.
this.
Do that very quick and get ready to come back to us.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'll be acting as the front of the formation on the way back. We need to get back to the FOB as soon as possible and warn them.
Is there a way up?
The hairs on the back of your neck just start to stand up.
Can't climb.
Somewhere, there's a set of eyes on you.
Oh, gonna make me launch that and potentially crash. Yay!
Just to the point that it's more than just paranoia.
You can do it, Meteora. I believe in you.
Oh, of course. Hold on. Of course it wants primitive.
Okay,
We shan't stay here any longer than we have to.
Meteor was going to do a topographical scan, but is having trouble
soon as it's
getting
done.
Yes.
You got it,
So-
Meteora. I believe in you.
Thank you. I'm glad you believe in me.
I'm watching.
We
though.
always believe in you.
Judgment. Judging.
Yes. Let's watch your technique.
When you're ready.
Please, go ahead. Wow, look at that skill.
Wow, look at that.
Wow, she really made it up there, didn't she? You're good.
Very well. Get three with me.
That makes sense. They
So
know
is this
Meteora
not
better than
working?
us.
We're moving double time, okay?
Well, it's because you have to right trigger against the wall here.
I do not recommend going up to the top floor. Specialist Kerrigan believes there may be some eyes upon us.
Understood.
Second Lieutenant, I was gonna ask, are you able to make any scans of the area?
That is what I was about to do. However, I would get a better scan from an elevated position.
Well, it sounds like you might get your head blown off then.
Understood. I will avoid this.
We're
I like
having
my
her-
head where it is.
We're having her do a quick. She just finished her topographical scan, but your concerns were valid. We're making intentional choices not to go above the ridge line, so please, let's rest the team. Unless you need a moment.
So do you want to seek trade spot following the rest of the team?
I have an
Scanning.
idea. Oh. Are they aware?
One moment, please.
Mm-hmm.
Scan is complete. I will begin analysis on the data as soon as we return.
Fantastic. I did come up with one more idea, but I find it to most likely be fruitless.
We should link back up with the fob. I've sent Sarge ahead of time. They will inform us that we'll be there soon. He will lock the place down, ensure that it is secure for our return.
Could this not be achieved using the command room?
We are moving out. All right. Let's make our way back. Link up.
Let's move. Come on.
Proceeding back to the fob.
We're good for now.
Going along with the bumpiness of the road. Should actually a turn. Definitely jeeps.
And they seem to have gone through a similar canyon that is on the other side of our base, with a vehicle.
I will note the direction of their travel, as best I can, and add it to the topographical information scanned. Perhaps it can give us an idea of where they may have ended up.
I was saying most likely multiple vehicles. I did how to get along with that one.
Oh, here we go. Down.
Easy now.
Noted.
And the tires seemed fresh.
Watch your
With the mark
step.
they were making on the sand.
I was frankly hoping for them to not have that much tech. But I suppose old tech is good enough. I suppose that's an interesting cultural question, Jenkins. What are the range of tech levels of people of the Outland?
Anything and everything.
Well, shit. That doesn't
They
help.
are scavengers. They will likely use or repurpose any equipment they can find.
I once knew a whack job who put sleds on an old skipper and would fucking drag that around. Had the weirdest fucking hat. He'd use sails to catch the wind in the clear parts of the Outland, and then he'd drag it through the fucking old ruins.
Huh.
Heard the truck as well.
I suppose that's the beautiful part about it, is that it's the mix of the old and the new.
Bastard had a cannon on it.
You know what?
Weirdest fucking whack job I've seen out there.
Have a look at our own base while we're away. Has Alex said anything over calls?
But I've seen Outlanders who use spears, seen ones who use guns, seen ones who steal pistols like these. There are those who jerry-rig Molotovs or go as far as learn how to make fucking chemical explosives. Anything we can get our hands on, anything we can make, we'll fucking use it until it breaks and then turn it into something else. Doesn't matter what it is. So I'm not surprised that they had trucks. I'm just more surprised that they had gas out here.
Just swap out with somebody and we'll get to the bottom of the mountain.
You know what? That is a good point.
I don't know
They
where
have
the fuck
gas
they got
out
enough.
here.
I don't know where the fuck they got that much gasoline to fill that entire canister, but
Perhaps this planet was previously, or perhaps still, filled with valuable resources. Perhaps it is
Here's
why
the
they are
thing, to make
here.
gas requires a process. That is not a simple thing to do.
Perhaps these
That means
people
there's
are
a
more
refinery somewhere on
better
this planet.
than we
If
previously
there's a
anticipated.
refinery on this planet, then that is a much different environment than we were currently planning. If there's a refinery, there's like full civilization.
Perhaps not a full civilization, but one that relies on such a resource.
Frank,
Hey,
yes,
but
that's
if you've
fair.
got gasoline, that means you need somewhere that's getting you oil and somewhere to refine it. Also, and if they've got old tech cars, that also means then that. Hold it! I see something. I see something. Oi!
There's fucking something, yeah, I see it.
Vehicle in the sands! In the direction that we just came from, heading towards the base.
At this time, all of the people traveling can hear distant sounds of yelling and the sounds of what seems to be some sort of engine
Main group,
revving.
go! Move! Move!
In the
move,
distance,
move, move.
somewhere
Double
from
time it back
behind.
to the fob. Move. We'll maintain defensive positions.
Watch your step!
Double time it, triple time it back to the fob. Do not wait. Do not be left behind.
Complying.
Great. Double time.
Oh shit.
Here we go. Down.
Be sure to look up. Keep the perimeter.
Go. Move. We do not want to be caught out in the open. You may be run over.
Yes, sir, Colton. The direction that we saw was directly from the area that the previous base was, near where the second ship.
Understood. Maintain defensive positions. Heavier units, shotguns to the front sandbags of the incline.
Core temperature
Stealth team up
elevated.
top. I will be at the front. Trucks moving in. I have eyes.
Drone. Truck coming in. Truck coming in. Two. Direct front. Direct front.
It may be wise to lower your head.
Three.
They appear to be firing guns into the air.
Take cover.
We're taking
Take cover.
wildfire from their tech weapons. Hold back.
What are your orders?
We're taking fire. Suppressive fire
We're taking-
on those trucks.
We're getting into cover first.
Understood.
They're also taking cover fire behind the trucks as well. Suppressive fire. Lay down the heat. Don't let them get to the ship. That's where they're going. We have units stationed on the inside. They should be able to hold at least a few of them.
Perhaps we should
Continue to
assist.
lay down suppressive fire on their trucks. There's a turret on the one in the middle. Be careful. That's a heavier weapon.
I believe that might be useful for you to be giving our frontline units some cover, if you think so.
Understood.
Okay.
They don't seem to realize I'm a war machine. They're just shooting blindly at me. The majority of their weapons seem rather weak. There's shots being fired from inside the ship. They've clearly engaged.
Well, now, I listen stunned Outland hospitality. Why couldn't this be easy?
All rebel units, focus fire. Focus fire on the truck in the front. Blow it up. Show them that we mean business. Light it.
Coming, move engage.
Permission to use a debt charge.
High velocity detected.
There's a total of around 7 units. The RPG is located at the middle truck.
It's an old tech RPG, but the one who's using it is clearly better than the others. He nearly hit me. I'm going back up the hill for now. Truck in the middle destroyed. Our truck up the front has been destroyed. Truck in the middle needs to take the heat. Focus your fire. Make sure that RPG doesn't get a chance to disrupt our defensive line.
RPG is aiming. Take cover. RPG out. Take cover.
Take cover. Horse, take cover.
Watch your heads.
They are moving to the ship. They are exposed. 2 units.
Pick them off. Don't let them get to the entry of the ship. The fact they're moving so quickly means only the units inside are having trouble. We will need to push forward once that enemy is suppressed.
2 units have made it to the ship.
We need to move in. Capture them alive if you can. We need to show them hand of force. I will go in alone and risk the RPG. Follow up behind me, units. Slowly but surely push forward.
You have orders. Move.
Fields, join me at the front.
There are 2 units taking cover on rocks behind the 2 trucks. Otherwise, the trucks are the only cover.
Infiltration squad, we will.
Units from the ship seem to be congregating at the back truck. Maybe they are collecting supplies. They seem to be pulling out.
If I may suggest, attempt to destroy their vehicles. This will cut off their method of escape.
Sir, there are 3 units left behind the next ridge. In between the ship and us.
Do not execute them. See if they're alive, and if they are, get them out of our ship.
They have just went back into the ship.
Form down. Form down the line and let's clear the ship. Let's move. Leave the rear guard at the fob.
Drone returning to base. I will catch up.
Does that
If
mean
I
we
were
stay
you,
up here?
I would remain here.
Figured as much.
Operator Logi, what are my orders?
Continue forward. Stay with Colton.
Understood.
It's just the 3 of us. On your left.
Understood.
The rest of us.
Unfortunate for you.
You get the one to the right. Move and you'll die.
Target identified. That was the one with the RPG. Where is it?
I left it on the truck.
I see. Bring them outside toward the fob.
Come on.
We need not stay here.
Are they both here, or should we traverse further in the ship?
There's 3 of them.
Yes.
Is there anything else
We
you
need
know?
one more on our squad in the front.
At the moment,
So we can
negative.
Investigate further in the ship.
Understood.
42 on his back.
That is
That
a very
damn drone
interesting
goes so slow.
Let us move.
Sir, you want us to check the rest of the ship?
Back to the FOB.
Not to make any sudden moves.
Yes. Clear the rest of the ship in case they are lying.
Alright. Alright,
Let's go to the FOB.
Galena. Clear the ship.
These units can handle it.
Understood. I am with you.
It is most
Move along, Neil, look forward.
peacefully. It seemed they did not have a similar idea.
Sir, they wasn't firing at us. Well, they was, but they wasn't hitting
They
us.
shot a fucking RPG at us. You blind?
They shot me with an RPG. That one did. Agreed. Pat them down a second time.
Does he have anything
Pat
on it?
this one down. Along with you.
Getting a little bit touchy.
There's nothing else extra, it would seem.
Nothing new.
Good. Let's make our way back up to the fob, and we'll discuss what to do with them there.
Get up. Let's move.
We don't want to maintain this position for long in case they come back.
Hands behind your back.
I'll hold this middle one.
And move
Hands
forward.
behind your back.
To
Move
clear the
forward.
rest of the ship and guard it with the rest of his men. rest of you should not tarry. Return to the fog. Double time it. Make sure that area is secure.
Ma'am?
Ariana,
Yes.
can I pull any additional insights from the attack?
Depends. What are you trying to find out?
Well, we now understand their their rough average level of technology. We saw how many people that they had to spare for an attack like this, as well as their behavior.
Give it some time to analyze this, especially after talking to this person, and I will get back to you on that as I have to oversee this conversation.
Gotcha. I will be upstairs if you need me. Thank you, sweetheart.
Of course.
Above your head.
Watch them.
Don't worry, we won't do nothing.
How unfortunate.
Already feels like home.
I recognize this and agree. I have not divvied from my previous protocol. It will maintain the same. I plan to interrogate them per se, but not hurt them. I need to know why they are here. And perhaps all they need is a little incentive. Their leader
Yes, sir.
must know that some of his men were left behind or are dead. Whoever it may be, he may be looking for them, which means we have a bargaining chip. His men for our supplies back. So in a way, this is very optimal. Now then.
Yes, sir.
Trust me. What I'm going to do is not harmful, but it's going to seem like it.
Yes, sir.
Understood.
Same tactics as before, I see.
I need water.
I couldn't make out a single
Well.
word you said that time.
Yeah, I don't even
No, if I aimed a little bit lower and to the left, I probably would have hit a couple of you. With that sweet, sweet rocket.
You seem rather obsessive with your rocket. Your hips are also rather excessive. Never mind. You two don't seem to talk a lot. I suppose he talks a lot for you. Afraid they are. I can see them quivering somewhat. You're not deserters or soldiers, are you? You're not. But you, however, you have some training. You identified me as a war machine and took this shot. No one you could possibly destroy me. See, you're at least ex-Fed. You're a deserter.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're wrong. I don't know.
Maybe I am right. To the point, before things start getting less comfortable for you all. Who do you work for?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I would like to know. I'd also like to know why you shot at us and came to raid our little ship. I understand there's much scrap, but it seems you scouted the area out beforehand. Or is that not the case?
Finders keepers, losers weepers.
I see. So, the
Childish.
more difficult approach. I was hoping I could be more diplomatic with you all, but it would seem I need some more incentive to get you to talk for me.
Put his pistol to the back.
Now then,
No. Please, no.
is yours
No,
a
no
true
needles.
serum? I could simply
No.
make you talk, or make you disappear entirely. Which
Please,
will you
no
choose?
needles. No. No needles, please. Anything but the needles, please.
No
Please.
needles. It's afraid of
Why'd you look at-
needle.
Why do you look at me when you say that shit?
How unfortunate.
Well then, if you wish for more no needles, then I'm sure you will be more informative to me. How large is your group?
Probably about like 150. 150. 150.
150. A decent
Yeah, yeah.
amount. Interesting. And who do your people support? Who gives the orders?
Dress.
Draz. No last name?
I don't know. I don't know.
Then what's your name? I'm curious. I want to know the one I will be killing later.
Matthew Lynn.
Matthew Lynn. Interesting. Cross-reference that with any deserter logs we have.
Understood.
Yes, sir. Come on.
I'm sure you'll find something. It is unfortunate you are deserters.
Let's do this quick.
Shall I, or would you?
We can work together. I see no reason to do this independently. Come on.
Understood.
We'll give the results to Colton. And it's just a simple database lookup. That should be enough. Come now. Let's go find him.
Ariana.
Same day that massive sandstorm rolled through. There always seems to be one about, but it's been a while since one came into here.
You find anything?
Is everything okay, Meteora? Oh.
I'm
We did the check
cross-referencing. This will take some time.
I'll continue to assist you then. Plus, it gives me a reason to sit down.
We'll partition the search.
He might be a bit of a hothead, but he doesn't leave us behind.
Okay. Do you think they'll give any useful information?
I am certain they will.
Yep, pretty much just like... He's a total hothead for a Photian, but he at least doesn't leave us behind.
I'm usually unsure when it comes to these methods.
Built into the side of some of
Intimidation
the
can
rock
often work in
faces.
terms of interrogation, but it gives flaky results at best.
It is difficult to verify the validity of the data that they are providing.
Correct. And in general, friends tend to lie less than enemies. But...
Agreed.
who knows? I trust Colton.
It has
He an
come
idea.
to my understanding, through analysis of his behaviors, that Colonel Colton is a very direct operator. If you have not noticed
Absolutely.
this. While he
Yes,
can
many times.
produce results, they are often not optimal.
Not optimal is the incorrect assertion, I would say. But just like most synthetics, I believe that Colton, as a war machine, is following by a set of rules, or rules aren't entirely correct, but a certain structure that he generally has to follow. It does not leave much space for thinking, as I like to say, outside of the box. Just the part where
Understood.
having a little bit of humanity in you tends to be nice. I believe that will be our most useful aspect to Colton, is not so much thinking that our compute abilities is better than his, because I believe that to be false, but to apply additional input to what he is going to be doing in a way that well, he won't have gotten to himself.
Has Ari passed out?
Perhaps.
Yes.
However, as I see
I
the
need a couple of
problem,
rolls, probably, Ari.
How many?
one can
Well,
have
I'm gonna be trying to scrap
significantly
that,
more
truck that
computing
got,
power.
sort of destroyed.
But that does
See
not
if I
make them
can
more
find anything.
efficient.
Give me a bit and I will
Or
be with
effective.
you.
Wonderful.
Sometimes the more
I'll
effective
switch back to
solution
other cards.
requires a delicate hand. You believe this to be true?
Absolutely. Making general statements of this is always better than that is generally wrong. So,
He is effective in the field. When
assumption.
applying force, it is
Yes.
what he is programmed to do. But for
I
other
agree.
things, perhaps not.
I agree.
Such as approaching a village. And making
Such as
friends.
interrogating prisoners.
Perfect.
Yes. This is just my observation, though. I will not act upon it. I will only inform you of the
Yeah, it's
analysis
valid.
that I have to provide.
It's valid.
Alright, I'm gonna move you
think
three
that'll be something that we
down.
need to discuss with
I'm
him
gonna
at
handle
some
these
point.
DM calls. If you have any further questions,
But
pop up
in
and
terms
ask
of
me.
his orders are absolute, and I trust them.
Agreed.
I have no intention of going against anything that he says.
Alright.
Howdy. We've been asked to try and find information, possibly in a deserter database on this guy, Matthew. Yes.
Matthew Lynn.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I don't
The
even
type
need
of
to
shit
do a
they
roll
would
for
have
this.
me
I
do
don't
on
know why I'm
desk
doing.
duty when
So,
I first started.
when you check that name,
Comparing a
it would
criminal database to a current
immediately
search database.
come
If you
up
did that, it would all be
relatively
automated by now,
quickly
but
with
no, of course,
them
someone
being
has to check
indeed
manually.
ex-fed. They are indeed a deserter from some kind of federal outpost, although it doesn't say from where. Seems that data is kept a bit expunged, but it was the truth. He is in
What's your
fact
prediction of if
ex-fed.
when we go back there's going to be a dead body
Alright,
on
I'll
the
relay
road?
this real quick. Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna go find.
I believe I have found the one we are looking for.
You have?
Yes.
Who was the one that needed?
He indeed is a deserter.
Okay.
Federal military.
Oh, what a surprise! What a surprise! Let's go give that information to Colton.
Affirmative. I was unable to find where he was stationed. However, it would appear that he was a deserter, and
Do you
is
need anything else,
not
Meteora?
favorable within the Federation's eyes. Not unless
Anything
you have that
else
other
worth
information, but otherwise I'll probably just hop up.
Matthew Lynn,
I'm being talked
now available to be talked to.
Matthew
Of
Lynn is
course.
indeed a deserter. While I was unable to find any information on where he was previously stationed, he is certainly not favored within the eyes of the Federation. He was a part of the federal military.
Indeed. Meaning that there are other deserters like him. A deserted federal. Meaning there's federal troops stationed here. Somewhere. We should be very careful with this information and not talk about it lightly. I'm going to ask
Yes, sir.
Affirmative.
Considering they have bunkers, I imagine underground.
It would be
It's
a
also
good
not
way
reasonable
to
if they would have
avoid
some sort
the
of-
heat and the dangers of the surface
Yes,
of this
absolutely.
planet.
I think it's not unreasonable to assume that they have long-range communication, so we should be careful
They're,
and be let loose.
I
There
can
wasn't
continue
anything
to
in the
search for
reports about
signals.
There wasn't anything in the reports about an Echo 12 by chance?
I do
I
not
believe
believe
so.
I saw anything on an Echo 12. What
can
is
let me know.
Echo 12?
It's a place that they take prisoners, if you will, for experimentation. Just the way he
Understood.
acted.
You believe he
Seems
was a part of this? Perhaps this is why his station
Maybe.
was expunged. If they do not want us to know about something, they will simply remove it from the record. Perhaps you should ask him yourself.
Yeah, I will. Thanks.
And also, I
Have a
suppose an
great
update that you
day.
can give while we walk is what was the results of the conversation so far? How many of them are dead?
One has been set free.
The prisoner has been delivered. I watched him crest over the sideline myself.
Good to hear.
Thank you.
Go to your station, horse. You'll be watching the prisoners for now with your team.
Understood.
Before that, discussion with me. Very quick. Most likely.
Of course, Lieutenant.
Do you require me?
Your input would be interesting. So yes, if you'd like to come, you can.
Understood. I will provide whatever input you require.
I had to make sure a puppy wasn't following. Okay. I want an evaluation of your new member of your squad. Give it to me.
She does not appear to fully grasp orders given to her. I am unsure of her abilities in firearms training, as well as stealth and general discipline. However, as per the commands of the Colonel, I am willing to train her on these things, for as long as it is requested of me. With time, hopefully, she can be turned into a real soldier. For now, she is a civilian playing at one.
Understood. Do you believe her incompetence to be, I'll put it this way, malicious or intentional, or just that, incompetence?
I am not versed in the determination of such aspects of human nature. However, of my own assumptions and judgments, I cannot notice any sort of malice or anything of such. Though our time has still been very short.
I understand. This will be a conversation with someone else then. Thank you for your report. You can go to your duty.
Understood.
Thank you.
Good job today.
Thank you, Lieutenants.
This is the part that I have trouble with. Incompetence or malignance.
I suppose I struggle with this as well. I noted that today, some of the civilians were not acting within accordance directly of their orders.
In particular, who?
The quiet one. I do not know their name. I believe they are Cerulean.
From the engineering department. Yes, I would agree. He's an interesting one. What do you believe that he was doing out of compliance? I thought he was with the group the entire time.
Negative. He was asked to stay here at the FOB. I found him at the entrance of the ship. While I do not believe that he was doing it, perhaps in a malicious manner, such malcontempt
Yes.
and inability
Yes,
to follow
yes,
instructions could lead to his death, which would be very poor for the continued survival of our group. He
I
is
agree.
one of a few mechanics
He'll
that
be
we have
noted.
on hand.
It'll be noted. I think we might need to give a bit of a reminder to all civilians that orders are to be taken seriously.
Affirmative. We are not giving them to be cruel. This is the correct word, I believe. We are giving it in the best interest of helping them to survive.
I agree. I believe the second part of the conversation can happen now.
I'm going to plug myself in briefly.
Understood.
Jen?
I'm going to process.
Well, then we can have that discussion with him after.
Perhaps, yes. It is not an
suppose I should
urgent
just have a direct
matter,
conversation.
however. It is important.
We find a place to sit and have a bit of a discussion.
Wherever you like.
Let's go to the shade. I think that'll be most relaxing for now, especially considering the sun is slowly going down, so it's at least still warm. going to get cold soon. I'm curious.
Oh.
I don't have much on my record about you, which isn't completely uncommon considering what we do here. But I always find it to be a bit of an interesting weak point. How about let's start with this. Tell me a bit about yourself, Six.
Not much to tell.
Oh,
Recently
I
ranked a
disagree.
private under Colton
Sure.
Meyer.
Lieutenant,
Fight for the rebellion.
permission to investigate the destroyed Jeep. To see what make it is.
Destroyed Jeep? Yes, bring 2 units with you. Specifically the engineers.
Of course.
Okay. You're a new recruit, essentially.
Technically.
Technically. Be more specific about that, then.
I've trained under Colton Myers for 2 years now.
2 years. Interesting. That's a good train. I won't press that into that too much, but it seems that your relationship with Colton is very specific. I would love to know a bit about that.
He saved my life and I dedicated it to serve him.
Interesting. We have many people here who can say the same. Frankly, I can say the same. He saved me from the hell that I had to live in. And now I get to assist him in saving others. So an interesting distinction here is when there are so many people who Colton has saved, why are you an exception, do you think? In terms of your want to follow him so closely when other orders have been given.
Colton's order prioritizes over all else. I apologize if that gives
Sure.
conflicting orders.
Sure. What was Colton's order?
Today I was to follow the infiltration squad. Once they deviated
Correct.
from the group and performed their mission, I was to stay at his side.
You see, I'm conflicted now. Because I obviously assume that that is the order that Colt gave you. But, here's the thing. The infiltration team was still in order to be following and to be securing our rear flanks and observing the area around us such that we don't get ambushed. Yes, there was a circumstance, and we didn't have full capabilities of watching our flanks because of the infiltration squad. But just because, let's say in a firefight, the infiltration team dies, does that mean the order that was given to the infiltration team goes away if you're the only one left?
Order would fall onto me, and I'm to carry out the mission.
Correct. It seems you still have a lot to learn despite having 2 years with Colton, which is surprising considering I believe him to be a very, very good teacher.
Yes,
I
the field is a
expect.
bit different than books.
Absolutely. I'm glad that you're able to recognize that. You will be watched closely for your performance. And if another incident, such as you running ahead of the infiltration squad again, or you running out of the ship again to meet up with Colton, despite direct orders not to, then further disciplinary action will be taken. I expect to see improvement.
As I said before, Colton's order above all else, and I will apologize ahead of time if those orders are conflicting.
I will be addressing that as well. You're dismissed. Go about your day.
Have a wonderful day.
Truck spotted going through the canyons. 2 trucks.
Trucks. Defensive positions for now. Everybody be aware. Heads up.
They're coming up on the front.
Bosch, there is a team of men down there.
Yes? Those are the ones who are not within our comlink. Oh wait, no.
They're within the comlink.
They are within the comlink. Well then. Return to the FOB. Take defensive positions, unless we were expecting this, in which I am not aware.
I wasn't, so I'm not going to stick around to watch Rough Riders do a drive-by.
Correct. I repeat, take defensive positions immediately.
Hello, I'm up.
You sure picked a hell of a time to wake up.
Well, I was in the engineering bay fixing up some things and I heard an explosion. I had to make sure it wasn't something important. What did I miss?
Oh, we got 2 guests.
Hmm. Do we have eyes on the truck still?
I do not know. Hello.
Hello. I was just fixing up things in the engineering bay and I heard an explosion, so
I see.
I had to make sure it wasn't something important.
Perhaps you could give me a status report on this.
Still needs more work. It's a little more
Understood.
messed up than I was hoping.
Do you
Still
require any
sparking everywhere.
supplies or tools to alleviate
I have the
any
tools I need.
blockers?
I have eyes on the trucks. They are staying in the open area
Hmm.
between us and the village. Continue
I'll let you
defensive
know.
positions. I will keep an eye
I
on
need to
you.
get some more information
Understood.
first.
Looking at
Hmm.
it closer, especially with being able to see the gun a
Lieutenant,
bit close from
if I can make a
sitting at the top
suggestion,
from
they
where
may
they were
be a
confiscated
distraction.
from those two.
Can I bring my
You've
team
been
around the rest of
Outlands
the
long enough
plateau
to know
to ensure
the
that there are
size of
no
what's back when you
additional
see it, and you
forces?
know definitely, without a doubt, that is the PTN
Confirm.
42.
Go ahead.
Favorite gun
Do
of the
it.
sands.
Very good.
Many
Infiltration
voices.
squad.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Take a search around the rest of the camp. Make sure that they aren't coming
Pop
from
into
no
the
direction.
on-call.
They seem to have pulled into the cavern that is between us and the village. Oh, or not. To the left of that cavern.
What's your question? What's
beyond the sands.
Trucks are split from each other.
Don't worry. Drows will come and tell you everything. I'm just the guy that gets the stuff.
One truck going north.
All I can say is
looks
just
like.
stay out of the desert at night.
If we're calling the direction where the ship.
That wasn't the deal. He gets some water, you tell me information. You made that clear with the offer that you made. So now, you are going to make me force my hand. I will ask one more time. Because you clearly know. It's beyond the sands, Matthew.
Rolling insight. With a natural 20, Gaz, you see the sweat stop for a moment around Matthew Lynn's bald head. You can't see his face because of the mask that is tightly strapped around him. But from his movements and the shifting posture he's making with his feet, this man clearly doesn't have any fear of you whatsoever and knows that you don't have the balls to do anything about it. However, you can also tell, because of the natural 20, that this individual is telling you what is needed, but fears if he tells any more, Draz won't want him back after all. At least that's what you can gather from what he's telling you, and from what you can see by his movements. But he doesn't seem complacent to really say anything more.
You're lucky my colonel needs you.
You notice the one off to the left of you, Kaz, is shaking somewhat. Though it started to subside, they've started to get used to the temperament, the interrogation, and they begin to calm down, knowing full well that this stalwart one off to their left isn't going to break, has given them some sort of semblance of resolve and morale.
Well, I'll be damned. Lad picked up a PK and 42.
Lieutenant Parker, they cannot hear me.
Split and fucked.
Perhaps we can unnerve them. Do not respond.
Are you able to
Simply
fix
nod
that,
your head.
Jenkins?
Yeah, do we know anyone who's good at weapon repairs?
The one you just walked away from, Jenkins.
We know your name. But what is your name? I would very much like to know.
Rolling. With a critical one. It just so happens you are deathly terrified of receptionist
obvious
synthetics.
signs of enemy engagement.
You as a
around the
little
island.
boy saw them on
Spot
television,
Lewis.
and you hate this type of
keep us
make,
up.
and it makes you uncomfortable.
Will do.
You
Last I
piss
saw, I saw
yourself.
one of the trucks leave. It
You
hadn't
say
been silent
nothing
since.
as you bite your lip and quiver.
No eyes on the
Copy
second
noted.
one.
There's a pool now on the
keep
ground.
heads up in
front
general, but
of
continue work.
Meteora.
That is unfortunate. You appear to have urinated yourself. Yes. See for yourself. How unfortunate.
Oh, I see.
So much for their morale.
And they were the ones that attacked us. This is strange. Perhaps they have lost their edge. Their nerve has been broken.
Aiming at ya.
You shot a fucking rocket launcher at us. What the fuck do you mean you weren't aiming for us?
I aimed at that rock. We're just trying to survive out here.
And so are we.
It just so happens you are the unfortunate souls who crashed here.
We do not blame you for attempting to live here. But, unfortunately for you, you decided to come to the wrong place. There are, as you can see, many tools that we can use here that are either able to make your life better or worse. It could have been.
And what tools would that be?
We got
Oh,
two
plenty of
vehicles on
things.
approach again.
But we'll keep that close to our chest. We were going to come to you with supplies. Come say hi. See if we can't make some friends.
What is their position and distance?
But at the current moment, you have decided not to make friends. Do you believe this to be the best course of
They're
action?
currently in the canyons to the... Oh dear.
All I know is that our well dried up 3
If the
days
ship
ago.
is to
We
the
have
south.
no water, so we're desperate. So yes,
North.
it might have been the best action.
They're to the north.
But
Understood.
Vision is 2020.
Please
it might
keep
have
an
not
eye
been
on
the
them and
best
inform
action.
them if they continue to move or get closer.
Curious.
Thank you.
No water, you say?
But you just said that you know where water is, which is beyond the sands, right?
Never said anything about
Oh,
water.
wait, there's light over here.
All I said is that the well dried up 3 days ago.
Yes, Lieutenant.
And that's the truth.
Nothing. I was going to ask you to grab a lantern, but you can.
I actually need to inform you. My power is running low. I require a charge. I will be putting
You assumed that we would hurt you. Why is this?
infiltration team until tomorrow.
Absolutely. Understood. Good job today.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
Well, have guns that are way new tech. There's a lot of you. Not as much as us, but
I see you boys are a fan of the classics.
Dole out the rations.
PKN 42s.
This includes our prisoners.
Aye.
On that note, I will be on shortly. I'm still processing.
He knows his stuff.
And Outlanders, you can take an Outlander out the Outlands, but you can't take the Outlander out the Outlands out the Outlander. AKN 42s are a gun that's most commonly used by bandits outside Sanctuary. So, needs a steady hand to use though. Thing kicks like a mule.
It's gonna start getting cold out here. I'm sure you're aware of that.
We know.
I see a light moving off to the east.
If you wouldn't mind conversation with
Lieutenant Lowe.
Outlander.
Yes.
Change of plans. Specialist Kerrigan will be taking charge, as Specialist Kerrigan does not yet possess night vision.
A little refined for one, but where the hell you guys getting your
What are
fucking
those
gasoline
lights?
from? Got a refinery or some shit planetside?
I can't even see the edge. How close are we to the edge of the...
I was
Let's
I
just
know, I
grab a
don't
light.
find the
Goodness
gasoline,
gracious.
I use it. Somebody else's problem.
Fair enough. Just wasn't expecting Earth Riders out in the fucking middle of bumfuck nowhere outside any normal system.
Curious.
Agreed.
Mind if I ask what compound you use for it? I'm more familiar with mercury-fulminate used in the primer.
I don't bloody know. I know how to
Isn't
aim
that
it.
one
Meteora, stay next to me.
Understood.
Love to meet the guy who makes your weapons. Been too long since I had something fun to work on.
It's gonna take a long time to get there.
Been doing nothing but scraping aluminum dust together into thermite the last few weeks.
This is one of the few times that we can actually use it in this scenario.
Fucking potassium. Great to make some thermite.
Can't have the cover of clouds or birds, but I can have the cover of darkness.
What good wanderer doesn't know at least some way to make money out in the outlands? Ain't know a lick about women, so I can't make alcohol. Don't know shit about car engines, so construction and deconstruction are my trades.
It's getting closer.
Mostly the fun ones, yes me.
See that? And I agree with that last one.
Curious.
So, this Draz. I hate to ask, but
Is that?
is this feeling more like a war boss, or is this at least
Oh,
kind of
son of a bitch.
Mayora chief?
Well, there's a 50% chance that it's one of the trucks,
He's our leader.
but it might be something else.
Let's do it. He's the big man, the boss, I guess, is the
You know what?
best way to describe him.
Hey, Ariana.
How much of the infiltration team do we still have?
Yes.
I see a bunch of lights off to the east. Is that a Unity artifact? Because I know there's bitmaps and all that kind of nonsense that happens with, or can happen if not settings are changed. Unity stuff. It's the assets.
Okay, you have that? Okay.
Okay. I know how to fix that. Yeah, just let me know later.
Or over there, that works as well.
So,
Sir, there are lights in that direction.
They're nothing to worry about. In fact, ignore them altogether entirely. Those are crates that just so happen to glow in the dark for no fucking reason. I am angry.
Understood.
They should not.
I see that we have seen nothing this entire time, and instead are admiring the sky. Understood.
See what? I did not see anything.
In private.
Native, I guess.
Soon.
Gotta say, the Outlands I'm used to are a fair bit different to this one. Nearly lost my marbles when I saw a dust devil not moving. Never seen one that just stays in place before.
Yeah, that's why I don't go out. That's why we're trapped here. For so long.
To think we were willing to pull out the whole red carpet We were even bringing a bottle of alcohol for the negotiations.
When was the last time you had alcohol?
A year ago?
Had a full bottle of it. Shame.
Would you consider today to be a special occasion, Jenkins? Gotta meet some new friends.
I would consider it as much.
Oh, then.
Probably the first time and first
one proper
time in 20. First time in say 20 years that I've seen another Outlander that ain't. Well, trying to stick a gun to me head. Rob me for all I'm worth.
And we'll stay here.
Not much left.
It's not wise to leave the civilian alone.
Well, we weren't trying to kill you, but you know it is.
I know how it is. Everyone's got to go out and get what they can while it's still there before some fuckwit takes it all from them. And at that point, you got to track down the corpse and find it then. So, I understand. Trust me, I do. I was a wanderer. Never one of those big groups like you got. Do my shit on my own.
Jenkins. Celebration. It's the bottle.
Perfect. One for me.
Don't go too hard.
And here, a sip for both of you. Only a sip though. Make it count. Probably the only one you're gonna have for a while now.
Here you go.
Spicy water.
Suppose that's one way to put it. Helps you forget all the fucking things out here that could kill you. Do you drink still?
Liquid.
ALT Meteora.
Yes.
One moment.
Understood. Following.
Wasn't sure if you still had a mouth.
How may I be of assistance?
Just so you're aware, Phoenix was shivering real bad, so I tried to get him some blankets and such. Didn't really see him do a lot, so I looked for a place that was much warmer than next to one of our big old lights. And, well, next to the computer bay in the logistics office seems to be the best place, so we threw in a mattress in there and put him in there for now.
Understood. I will inform Lieutenant Bosch.
Thank you much, ma'am.
You can thank Jenkins here. He's the main one that. Well, I had a feeling that going in guns blazing wouldn't be a good idea. And I was right. But it was Jenkins that really made us. Well. More properly understand you guys.
We do not need to have enemies. We do not need to.
I was also the one that found the alcohol, so you can thank me for that too.
Yes, you did find the alcohol.
Was hidden behind one of the bunks.
Ah. That's how it didn't break.
Aye.
So, I don't know about you, but I don't know what options you have right now. Other than waiting for your friend to come back tomorrow, most likely.
Let me.
But ideally...
Never.
Never.
Never leave behind. Yes.
Is this a personal mantra, or is this a mantra shared by your people?
Never leave behind anyone in the dunes. Blues forever, if gone.
That's what Draz says, but apparently that doesn't reach down to the rest of us, or at least some of us, as you can clearly see.
How unfortunate.
Well, let's make sure you don't get lost in the dunes. We just want to survive here, just like you. Different ways, but we want to survive.
Right.
Fancy blue box to keep you warm at night, at least. Yes, we do have fancy blue box. Duh. Blue boxes to keep us warm. But I'm sorry, my strength gets to me sometimes.
I think I'll just leave the lantern on the fucking ground at this point.
Recalibrate your arms.
Doesn't need fire. Here's the point. It doesn't need fire. I need something else.
They eating?
Not yet. I don't believe so, but they have gotten a little bit of whiskey. Want some?
No.
I mean, we did set aside
Well,
some rations for
as
you
an
folk if
advisory,
we
Phoenix will be
actually
staying
got
with
to the
us tonight.
negotiation stage.
Leftover.
But,
Understood.
You will understand.
Well, I picked them out, so the ones with the good candies and meat that isn't charred over a fire.
You get anything to eat?
Oh yeah. When was the last time you guys had enough meat?
I ain't hungry.
Hey, hungry. Alright, well, you at least got something on you for later when you do get hungry.
Hey, say anything new?
Nothing of note. However, they do seem to have a personal mantra that I find interesting. Never leave someone behind in the dunes. However, Matthew believes that this does not extend beyond those that their leader deems as being important.
Right.
Thankfully, it didn't fire machine guns. That's while we were running. But, you know. Oh, yeah. But we did have to run from trucks.
Being shot by RPGs, it was a good time.
Yeah, there were RPGs. 2 shots.
What a wonderful day.
If I recall. Yeah, fireworks everywhere.
Do you require assistance?
No, right now they're fine.
I see.
They just want some time alone, I believe. To
I
warm
see.
up.
From the other side, you can hear just a few more. You hear a bit of movement and shuffling nearby. This is probably where Phoenix was put, as you were informed.
Is this better?
The best I can do until we get a permanent heat source.
Understood. Do your best to keep warm.
That is the best I can do after all. Thank you, Meteora.
You're welcome.
Meteora, do you mind doing a little announcement over comms? All the officers need to meet, including Sarge, Colonel.
All rebellion
Thank you.
officers, please report to the... What do we call this?
We could have used those extra solar units. As you can see, the lights are already flickering and out.
I don't think he heard you. Colonel, what do we call this? This box? It's like a HQ or...
I suppose it would be Midnight Alpha 2. Or shall we call it Midnight Beta? I don't know. This is our main base of operations, however. I will allow you to come up with the name for this location.
Brief
I
compromise.
suppose it is a
Eyes
headquarters
are being
of sorts.
open. It'll do for now. Tell the rest
The
of them to go to
box.
sleep and... well,
Understood.
then you can be a bit more comfortable.
All officers, please report to the box. Sarge, this will include you.
How good's the name on a 1 to 10?
It is descriptive. It is indeed a box.
On originality, though, I'd give it a
It is. Shut the...
The D10 decides it's a free.
Ha, bitch!
Excuse me, that was very rude.
No, now you started him.
I am not a redacted.
I wasn't talking to you!
Understood. Hello, Vosh. We are calling it the box. What a wonderful name, don't you
Sorry,
think?
Yeah, the blocks. But it has to be
Yes, the
said like that.
blocks.
It has
The
to be
block.
said with like my accent. The blocks.
The block.
Yeah.
I'm sure Colton will love this. But yes, the report.
He did.
What?
He literally came straight up to me, pointed at me, and said, I like this. I don't understand him sometimes.
Colton's amazing. But do we need a meeting with Colton or without?
Yes, Colton.
We
wanted
also
all of
need
us, including
Sarge.
to
Where
meet.
is he? He was asked to report,
I believe.
unless he could not hear me.
I don't believe he could hear you.
Unfortunate.
Correct, he could not hear you.
I will look for him.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I will contact him. One moment.
Thank you.
Unit Sarge, if you could please report to the box. We would appreciate this. Thank you.
I want a damage report of what they took.
I found
Because I know
him.
they were loading up some of the supplies in the ship.
You
Or at least they attempted to.
Yes.
There were not too many on board to repel them. So they must have gotten away with something.
But
it wasn't
if you'll
sufficient
excuse
to a
me,
degree.
Excuse me for being casual.
That is alright. Explain, Sarge.
I'm having some of my men scour the ship and take inventory of what we have and what is missing at this time. I also have set up a routine and constant cycle of guards at the front of the ship. We will not be allowing them to enter again. We have guards both inside and out.
Regardless as such, I'm going to commission a door. It was rash to blow it open, I'll say this. You might have had better luck attempting to pry it open with all the power you had. However, it was necessary to get outdoors, I suppose. Perhaps it would have been better to make sure it would have remained open. My apologies for this during our first day here, but I had to go into overdrive and overclock all my systems to understand the situation we were in, as it's one I didn't know we would be a part of. Regardless as such, the plan stands for tomorrow. We will venture out. Should they send a runner back to us tomorrow, which is highly probable and would make sense to lead us to their main outpost, we will go there. I will try and bring as many as possible, leaving the rear guard here. But we need to show a presence to these outlanders that we are not to be toyed with. And we have what they need, their men. So I doubt they'll be too rash with their actions.
Jenkins has been doing a very good job talking with them.
I have noticed this. They seem to resonate somehow with each other because of their past.
They showed interest in joining, sir.
Interest in joining. As would I, if I were working for someone for many years wanting to gain intel about the other side. This Matthew Lennon is a deserter. A corporal. I would expect he has much experience when it comes to interrogation, seeing as such, meaning he's wanting to gain intel of our own forces, which is why I stationed him on the edge of the camp, so he can't overlook everything. I don't want him to get an estimate of our numbers. But he seems very perceptive. This is a man I wouldn't think this so-called Draz would let off the hook so easily. Therefore, he's of value to him. Similar to his other men. There's not many men to go around in this desert, and I would think that 150 men would decrease quite rapidly should you make rash decisions. That is another footnote I like to make. The fact that these units are, for the majority, I wouldn't think all of them are deserters. Some of them from their firepower were simply firing in our general direction to suppress. Meaning there's some sort of militia formed among the ranks, meaning not all of them are skilled. However, numbers are still numbers. If 150 guns are pointing at you, that is death. That much is for certain. Which we need to be very careful during our exchange for our supplies and their men. We want to be sure we aren't shot in our backs.
My question comes to the fact that if these civilians at this point, who they are a militia, if they are arming themselves, there must be a reason. Be it other groups or local fauna, something. There must be a reason why they're having to arm even civilians into a militia.
Perhaps I can provide.
He mentioned stay out of the lands and surrounding desert at night. There must be a good reason for this. Perhaps Draz will enlighten us as to such, seeing as Matthew doesn't seem interested.
I was going to provide the exact same information. My apologies.
Negative. I expect nothing less. Great minds think alike.
Thank you!
Jenkins was continuing to have discussions with them. And I think he might be fruitful in his ability to.
I don't believe he'll leak any information. as he's been here for quite some time. He was, after all, a good friend of Colton Myers, back when he was an engineer before he died. So I expect him to be especially loyal in this regard, and not to give too much information away, perhaps a little, just to get a reaction out of them. There's a reason Colton and him were friends, despite them having differences in profession. Nolan. Parker Fields, you will be leading this expedition along with myself. You will take point along with myself. If things get dicey, it is made very, very clear that we do not stand a chance against them and we are going to be shot in my back, I will give no order. But when you see the smoke being deployed from myself, that is the signal to withdraw and make your way back to the fob and prepare. You need to get everyone out of there should things go wrong. Explain.
I can do that. One of the soldiers here have trouble following my orders. Hana? So, an officer's job is to give quick instruction. When environments change, new orders need to be given as quickly as possible. Am I correct?
It's got like a...
This is correct.
When the trucks were approaching our base, I gave a very specific order to your stealth team to surround the general area to check on these trucks to make sure they weren't engaging with our encampment or getting too close. Everyone but Hana decided to take my order, and Hana had a problem because she was following your order over mine and did not move as quickly as I asked her to. Instead, she argued with me over the matter. Which in a live firefight.
I understand this behavior all too well. It is on her document. Hana has an issue with firing upon the, shall we say, less fortunate and less equipped. They do not enjoy slaughter. At least that is what's been made very clear on their file before joining. When you are part of the Federation, you are asked to do unspeakable acts of inhumanity. Perhaps it is a side effect of this. Regardless, this does not dissuade the fact that she is arguing with an officer. Therefore, I will suggest this when you return, and we return from our expedition. Or we shall carry this out early morning. We are going to be doing some early PT in the mornings, and she will be given double the workload as everyone else. Just to be sure she isn't arguing with officers again. I will say the same about 6 as well. And again, you probably wouldn't be happy with that punishment, as it is something that 6 is easily able to do. 6 can train for hours on end. Therefore, I do not see an issue with PT. However, I have punished her myself using my own methods, such as withdrawing her from live actions along with the stealth squad. She is to attend to me, and solely me, when it comes to combat. Meaning, she does not become baggage for the other squads. It'll be my responsibility. This
Sir,
should
for
be
the sake of the
adequate
other
enough.
officers, I have a question.
Talk to me.
The one named 6. She has so far been insubordinate, but every single time she has been insubordinate is because she claims that there was an order that you gave. What is your relationship with her?
Rolling. Parker Fields remembers this day. It was but a year and 2 months ago when we intercepted a clone slave convoy into the Outlands that were dealing with an outward plant of sorts in the midst of the desert by sanctuary about 60 miles out. We came across a group of Outlanders that were vicious, pillaging, murdering, and doing unspeakable acts to the others in their faction, the weaker. I gave the order, and I know, despite it being a joke in some standards, as I prefer things to be lighthearted when the subject is brought up, it is not Parker Fields who ran in there guns blazing. It was me, and then he gave the order to go forth to the rest of the units. There were not many with us. It was 10 at the time. 10 insurgents, including Parker and myself. We infiltrated at first, but it was made very apparent these specific individuals were ruthless and started killing their own. They learned from the Federation that scorched earth policy is the best policy always, instead of the rebellions, which is only if necessary. They began executing the clones one by one. Take them out of their cages, out of their tubes, put a bullet in their skull. I could not stand for this and do nothing, for that is wasted life. So I stepped in. That is the only day I would say in my history of my creation where I went AWOL. Because I couldn't stand to see that happen any longer. That is the day my chassis ran red. Because I did not cease to pummel the victorious, or so they called themselves, those victorious snakes. 6 was among these clones. Now do you see why?
Partially, sir.
She does not know this. She is not privy of what she is. And there is a reason why I have not told her. She's 18 years old. In clone years, that's well over 50. But she's different. She is a different make. She was the next generation of clone. Specifically, piloting clones. She does not know this, as she does not need to be made privy. She has a learning disability to an extent. She needs a partner to train with. And she was never given the chance. That is how her mind was programmed. She was meant to be trained to others like her kind, or with a war mech. But she is unable to. So she has trouble interpreting orders. Because it conflicts with what I have given her. There is a reason she has drawn herself to me, albeit slowly but surely over the year. Because I am a war machine. It is what she grew up knowing, even though she doesn't remember it. Because I have suppressed such memories. Should she gain those memories back, she will relive her torture over and over again. And I do not wish for this. That would spell doom for a member of the rebellion. And it would cause doubt and bring the other squads down. Do you see why?
Yes, sir, I understand, but there's one thing that needs to be reassured to me and the other officers. Either she can be with you and be your personal aide, which is fine. I see no reason for it shouldn't be. But if she is still under our orders, we need guarantees that she will follow our orders, sir. She has already
I
put
have
us in
told
danger
her and
multiple
reminded
times.
her again, but she has the mind of a child. She has to learn. Through punishment and disobedience, she will eventually get to the stage where she understands that she's not supposed to follow just my orders.
Sir?
She is close.
Is that what we need in the rebellion at this current moment?
We all are learning here. Most of us have only been here for more than half a year. I have
But
been
none
here
of
for
us
2
are
years.
children.
None of them are children, Logi. But we all have to learn different skills at some point. And it just so happens that 6 is unable to learn as quickly as others because of her past. But I agree with you. It is not what we need. Which is why she is under my specific care as of now. Should something happen to me, this will fall upon your shoulders, Parker Fields, and the sergeants, as I have told her as such. She will follow this protocol because it is my last will for her to do so. And if she has formed a bond with me like she was supposed to do in her youth and in her training, she will obey it because it makes sense.
Programming is difficult to mess with.
It is.
Especially with
It is quite difficult.
Sir, with respect, along with the officers, should this clone, this 6, be a threat to the safety of everyone else?
I do not believe so. They weren't able to learn because they were just sold. Meaning, that part of their training might never have been concluded at all. I still have to post a prompt to see this, however.
Be assured that I see with this, sir. Due to the fact her training is incomplete, what we have is a child soldier. Which is not a good thing. It may be beneficial for us to reinforce to not only 6, but to the others.
You appear to be disturbed.
A chain of command flowing from yourself to your lieutenant.
I can see it on your face.
Just, growing close to the kid is all.
I see.
It's just kind of weird to hear she's a clone, I guess.
Does someone's... No. Does the circumstances of one's creation matter that much to you?
No, I just...
Do you believe that
feel
I
bad for
cannot
them.
be your companion?
No, it's... I don't know. It's just a thought that's on my mind at the moment, I guess.
While I am uncertain if it is true, I have been told that the circumstances of one's birth or creation is irrelevant. We are all going to get shot either way.
Yeah, I guess so.
This way she will learn not only to obey the orders of the Colonel, but to learn that the Colonel's orders extend through you. You are the commanding officer, you are the front runner.
Babysitting at times will be necessary.
Sir, one of the things that is consistent between your orders is anything that is a threat to the rebellion is to be removed. Correct, sir?
This is agreed. Do you see 6 as a threat?
Threats can come from many different places. There are threats of clear violence. People, I want to harm you, thus I am a threat to you. But there are many other styles of more subtle threats, and that is one of incompetence.
I believe what Bosch is trying to say is that you have threatened others for less.
It is. Then again, you must understand. At times, Lottie, I will say certain things and do certain things to get a reaction, to learn from others. This is all part of the synthetic learning process, and I am a great exception to this because it allowed me to go against my programming to do the right thing in the first place. I threatened the Federation with exposure. This is why I'm in this position, because I knew the truth. Above all else, the mission must be remembered to its fullest, and the 3 rules must be followed. 2, primarily. 1, to remain in good standing with the civilian populace. 2, to relay the information to Fortune Fantasies of our finds so they can get it out to the civilians. Thus, it won't spread panic, it will spread knowledge. It will start a greater uprising. And that is what we need, the full support of the Manua district. If we can get this, we no longer have to be in hiding. In a way, we would rival the corporations. In a way, we would identify ourselves as our own corporation. Despite us not producing anything, what we do produce is the truth.
Sir, I understand that, and I recognize that, and trust me, my loyalty to you hasn't changed in the slightest. I intend to follow you to, well, the end of this.
It is getting late. We should wrap this up.
In that case, I will leave you with these parting thoughts, so that you may be able to deliberate it over time. If we are spending more resources on something that may not pay it back, then I consider that to be a threat to our own group. I will not make that judgment call, because I believe myself to be not the one who makes that decision. But that is my stance. If there is a unit in our team that is actively making our lives harder in a way that may directly threaten our other troops, just like if they were any other soldier, they will be dealt with. Or at least they should. But I recognize your biases, sir.
This is understood, and I will process it overnight. I will not let your words fall on deaf sensors. They will be taken into regard. I will
Thank you, sir.
Access them over the night so that things of this regard and scenarios like this do not play out in the future, as it would be preferable.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to process. The rest of you...
Be careful. Phoenix is there.
Can I ask for a roll, Miss Ariana?
Please do not sit on him. That would be bad for his overall health.
But maybe Phoenix can sit in his lap, though. Because, like, he's gonna be doing processing, so he's nice and warm, so if he sits down, then Phoenix can sit in his lap and be
Very
nice and
true.
Except he doesn't sit down, which is unfortunate.
Can I get a roll?
Sure. What for?
A conflict of his major detriment.
Let's walk away.
7.
Understood. Following.
Interpret that how you choose.
The night drags on. Like before, it gets colder and colder. And over time, each separate individual begins going about the routine of standing watch, going to sleep, plugging in. Tomorrow will bring about a new day. But for now, Rebellion needs rest. And that is where tonight's session will end. Please respond.
Lieutenant, if I may have a word alone.
Absolutely.
Shall I stay?
That is up to the Sarge. I'm going to say no. Let me handle this. You can go ahead and head to bed.
Understood. I do not have a bed, but I understand.